We await the December non-farm payrolls number here. We'll join you a few seconds before we get this number. It should be a market-moving event here. 170,000 according to this website expected. Forecast 150. We'll see what it comes out as. If you remember, 199 on the November print, 199,000. There it is, 216,000, so much higher than expected there. Again, on the December non-farm print versus 170,000 expected, 150 on the forecast, so much higher than expected there. 216 is that December print. The average hourly earnings year over year up big time as well, 4.1% to the upside. Unemployment rate downside as well, 3.7% versus an expectation of 3.8%. The prior right in line, 3.7% there as well. So we'll see how that sets things up here as we head towards the 10 o'clock number as well. We have some ISM PMI data coming through. 216 December non-farm payroll versus 170,000 expected. It's Friday, January 5th, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. I saw that, yeah. All right, as expected here, downside for the overall market coming off that number. My chart a little bit lagging here, but about 0.5% right now for the S&P, 0.6 for the NASDAQ. We're extending this decline off this December non-farm print, 394 coming into play. We're back to big time support here, or what should be support. Again, if you missed it or just joining a little late, 216,000 jobs created in December in the U.S. Versus 170 expected. The forecast on this site, 150,000 expected there. Jump down to the unemployment rate, 3.7% versus 3.7% last time around. But the expectation was a little bit higher than that. So, yeah, there we go. More negativity coming back into play here as we get going on a Friday.
And yields skyrocketing, Brendo. The 10-year up 2 1/3, the 2-year up 2%. Here they are moving above critical support levels. I was just telling Brendo off camera, it would be interesting if we got a rejection here off this 4 print on the 10-year, but it's moving up here. I guess maybe the market digesting maybe not as many rate cuts to come next year, given the strength in the job market. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see how we react here. We are starting to bounce a little bit for the NASDAQ anyways. If you're with us yesterday afternoon, I was talking to Frank about this exact thing, and he was even saying if it comes over 200,000, could see some more negativity, could see some of those rate cuts priced out once again that we were expecting as soon as March. I'll grab that tool. It's a Friday, guys, but downside we go off this number.
We shorted, yeah. I mean, I think, well, you're long, I'm short.
Well, Apple, okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah. We, you know, would have liked to get a little shorter. Hey, by the way, welcome everybody. We just take a quick 20 cents. We're going to hold for a little bit of a bottom break here. Such a strong number. I mean, that's the one thing we're worried about is a reason for the Fed not to cut. And I think we've pulled, and we'll talk about this again. Tonight we're going to be having the podcast. Make sure you check that out. We talked about it last week. This is why I said the market was going to be falling here into January. And at the end of January, I thought a little bit more specifically. But now we're going to have 6 straight red days. We'll see if today can hold or not. But again, good news is bad news all of a sudden again, because look, the more jobs that are out there, the more likely the economy is strong again, right? Is inflation the problem? I mean, oil's coming all the way back in. We got core PCE pretty much near target. So we're going to find out where the Fed goes from here. But yeah, it's a nice upside move. Maybe that flush is over with now. So we'll have to wait. We got out of half here at 45, just a quick scalp, because we've seen this take itself to the upside again. I want to fade all of these highs until we break it. So that's 46, 45.80 or so. Let's see if the market is resilient or not today. I was nervous yesterday about it. Let's see today. But Apple's at a key level. That could be a good one there.
Yeah, welcome in everybody. Like obviously, like every single day has been an Apple short, but the 180 level was the one thing that we're sort of keyed on. I'll go to the higher time frame chart, but I just wanted to quickly show. This is a scalp trade for me. If it holds 180, great. I think there'll be longs off this potentially for the entire day. But the play that I was looking to make was simply, and I I didn't get filled in front of 180. I had an 11 bid. I got filled at 32s. But it was holding 180 the entire time. Market was flushing. Sean got short on break of the lows. It continued lower. It continued lower again. I saw like 3 distinct pushes on the Qs, and each time Apple was holding like the 20s and the 30s in front of the 180 level, and that's that big level on the daily chart. Of course, that chart had crashed. Of course it did, Neil. That's that big level on the daily, the 200 period moving average for Apple that in the last couple of days we said this is where we're headed on a pullback, at least to this 200 period moving average. So it gets there today on the number. I always scalp off of economic numbers and then sit back and don't want to overreact to them. Take your trade and then move on to what might be next and then set things up for later. But Apple's been falling multiple days in a row. Oddly enough, at least for now, I'm a little bit more bearish on Amazon than Apple at this level, because Apple's been doing its damage to the other side. It's made the pullback from 200. Amazon was really weak yesterday. It was actually weaker in a lot of senses, percentage based, than Apple. We got Peloton that's going to be in play as well. So we have really a lot to get to. It's going to be a wild day, just the start. Unfortunately, though, the market's doing the exact same thing it was doing all year, I suppose.
Yeah.
You still can say all year.
No, good trade there on Apple. And again, okay, we just did it again. We reloaded it at that exact same level and just took another 20 cents right there on the TQs. So, yeah, man, here we go. Scalp City, get it out, hold a little piece. We're just doing it over and over again here at Trader TV Live. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Shout out to Adam, shout out to Laura, shout out to everybody that's there in the chat. You know, we're already into something here. And yes, sir. We on one, let's go. Let's spend a little bit of money right now, because here we go. Let's see if this market can take out those lows. We reloaded the short, we're back in it right now. And yeah, I don't know how bad it's gonna get here today, but that's not a great number for what we're looking at here. It's been what, 6 straight down days? Or 5? This is looking like another one here. I can't see myself going long unless something dramatically changes. I just don't know what that is. So I'm gonna stay net short here again.
All right, this is what I was mentioning here. Here's the CME Fed Funds tool. This is March, unchanged from yesterday. So when we spoke to Frank at 2:45 or whatever it was yesterday afternoon, this was exactly the same, 60.4%. If you go to January, this did get a bit of an uptick here. We're now at 93.3%. No change to come in January. Again, March about 60. Looks like some of this, possibly 4.2% now back over here on the no change side, so 35.4%, possibly no change even in March. If you go out to May, still pretty even between a quarter point and a full half point coming off, 48.3%, going out all the way to May. But as you were saying, you know, yields back to the upside, dollar back to the upside. It's been 3 days in a row here. Yields have been straight higher.
Yeah, and maybe make it a fourth today if we continue on this path. It's not just the fact that the economy added more jobs, guys. We're still getting wage price pressure because the average hourly earnings was up 0.4% above the consensus 0.3. Also, there was an equal amount of jobs added both in the private sector and the public sector, because private non-farm payrolls came in well above expectations as well. So, and the unemployment rate remains higher than anticipated, 3.7% rather than the 3.8. So, from all facets here, Brendo, jobs, unemployment rate, and hourly wage.
For those watching the scoreboard on this side of the border as well, we got Canadian job change numbers, a staggering 100 jobs created in Canada. 5.8% on the unemployment rate as well for Canada. I saw somebody was mentioning Bitcoin back higher. That's BTC right now on a daily chart. We're sitting just at 44,000 right now. If you zoom in a little bit, there was, I guess, a bit of a move back up after the initial number, but still kind of grinding along in this move higher off that down move going back a couple of days ago.
Remote somewhere.
What are you guys trying to do? Oh.
Well, okay, couple of things here. With the market doing what it's doing, I think that 216 number just to keep in mind, there was a wide range of expectations, but over that 200 was kind of, it's not like it's a line in the sand, but over that 200 is a bit of a shock. This is it's always a good time on an early move to identify levels and sort of like what's strong and what's weak. So I'm out of Apple, but that's not necessarily the first place, the next place that I wanted to go. I said Amazon, I think it's a little bit more bearish than Apple. I'm just going to do it this way. Where are you, Amazon? Let's go to the black chart. Amazon, a little bit more bearish than others. It broke the low of the day, and much like your Qs trade, it broke the low of the day, came back a little bit on that bounce, held the previous lows, and is continuing lower as we speak. So I'm filing this away into the, I like Amazon as a company. It's only down 0.5%. Apple's also down 0.5%, but it's the price action that's different. So I'm looking for this to short the pop. Now, I liked 145 before. I got to start thinking about the 144 quarter level right in here. 144 to 144 quarter previous lows on Amazon. This one I'm a little bit more bearish on. And when it comes to Bitcoin, they're not top of the list, Coin and Mara, like they were the rest of the week. Looking at some of these equities because there's a little bit more of a focus for me. I like Apple and Amazon a bit more today.
Yeah, I closed. I actually got to open up my Bitcoin chart again because we had all that issues yesterday. Yeah, I mean the market is what it's doing right now. We've talked about sort of here. Hold on a second. Let me just call up the NASDAQ here. This is going to be the triple Qs. Someone asked again. We always get this question, or at least I do, because I'm the one trading it. Why am I on the TQs instead of the SQQ? Well, we don't have to pay any borrow costs for anything in like this heavily traded. So I just trade the TQQ because I can go short for the same price as going long on SQQ. So it's just like in my blotter, if I think the market's going down, I'd just rather be short something than long something. It's just like a psychological thing. And then we don't, like if I had to pay, so SQQ, see TQQ down 1.29, I'm expecting this to be up 1.29. So it's going to be 1.31. But as it moves around, there's going to be differences. There shouldn't be differences like that. That seems to be too dramatic to me, but okay. As it's moving around anyways, 162 versus 148. I don't know. Anyways, the idea there would be, and thank you for asking the question, is to save on fees for you guys. You would want to trade the SQQ because if you don't have any borrow costs and it's a little bit less price, I could see why traders would want to do this. So maybe next time I'll just trade the SQQ so we could match up our price levels. But at the same time, no, it's because honestly, trade with like, a seven-figure, account. So to me, it doesn't really matter if it's a $45 stock or a $15 stock. I'm going to take probably similar risks. It's just a matter of, what the moves look like. So that's what that is. And then the other thing here is, you can get rebates. Yes, good question, Adam, to lose. You can get rebate pretty much on any equity. You just have to use the right gateway, and we can talk about that. Anyways, yeah, no, look, what I was going to pull down here was the NASDAQ daily, and now I don't even know where it is. But here, let's just do it on this screen. I just think that we've had such a disastrous start of the month here, and then we get a little number today that's way outside. Like I feel like they'll probably revamp it lower, but that was huge. I didn't see anybody predicting a two handle on that. So on the 200,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking to be 6 straight down days, right? Goes up, no problem, comes down, no problem, and then eventually we're gonna have to find an area to support. So the triple Qs maybe down here at 385, 386, go back to the top back in July that we were also happy when we finally broke it and then we got going. So you can see here, we dance around this 385 on the Qs, and I can do it on the NQs. You can just call up the same chart. Breaking through this 50 period also is that top. That's the dangerous part of all of this. So if you lose that, then where do you fall to? So this is going to be quite the move downside here, I believe, in the market. I'm surprised it started this aggressively this early, but ciao, like we were just talking about it right there, boom, like it started to go up and then just right back into the downside. We're about to go over to somebody who I know, who's been on the show lots of times, obviously. You know him, it's Michael Noss, and we've talked about RSP, equal weighted S&P and things like that. Smiley faces, frowny faces. Looks like we might be frowning right here, boys.
Yeah, there he is, Michael Noss, CMT over at Trade Ideas, back with us. If you're with us during the holidays, we teed up a couple of different scenarios that could transpire over the quote-unquote Santa Claus rally, or the expected Santa Claus rally, Mr. Noss. One of those, and you had a great picture and illustration of this, had Santa's sleigh crashing into the NYSE. So I'm not saying that exact thing happened, but it's not exactly positive at this point.
No, it was not great. And yeah, so if you guys missed the show, I'll do just a quick summary if you guys were, any of you were on vacation. But yeah, essentially with the market over the last 2 weeks, this week and last week being shortened week, as opposed to really diving into some technical analysis, I've done some seasonality things. There's three major events that are occurring around now that have some statistical significance to the market. One, we all heard of, the Santa Claus rally. This next one is the first 5 days of January, and then after that we have the January effect, or people say, as so go January goes the year, right? And so far, not looking that great. Now, the first slide I actually have here is the returns if we have the first 5 days are down and the January return is negative. I just wanted to bring this back because these first 5 days, barring some sort of crazy reversal today, looks like it may be down. And you can see we have only 37% of the time with this limited amount of data that actually turns into a positive year. The next slide I have is just one of those pictures that I got the AI to bring up, which essentially, for the Santa Claus rally, there's a saying for the person who wrote it, that from the Stock Traders Almanac, that says, if Santa Claus should fail to call, the bears may come to Broaden Wall. So just saying again that we all expected this Santa Claus rally, but if it didn't happen, and me and Brendan were talking about this a bunch, that's really interesting information. So we didn't get the Santa Claus rally. The market was actually down through that period of time. We have a few days left. We have today and tomorrow for that first 5 day effect. That's looking like it could be negative as well. And then just going into technicals, I have a chart here of the SPY with a RSI on the bottom. So an RSI is essentially just a momentum indicator. You can use a lot of momentum indicators, and I've talked about this here in the past. I'm not too interested in the traditional overbought, oversold levels. We've done testing at that at Trade Ideas. It's not really that significant. What is significant is when you have a higher high on a price and a lower high on a momentum indicator. That's basically telling us that this last high, there was less oomph, I guess, for lack of a better term, less bulls involved in that high. And we've started to fall from that. So all of those things together have me feeling not overall bear. I don't think, we're getting another 2022 when the market's going to crash or whatever. But even like Sean was talking there before I came on, we may settle down into, there's 460 area on the SPY. There's even lower at 440. There's a lot of these areas and a lot of these gaps that may need to be filled. So we may be in for a rough couple weeks or couple months. If that's going to be the case, I'm going to look for some shorts. So we have a scan that I was actually on midday this week with Sharif talking about TI strength, which is a relative strength algorithm that I do use to look for swings. And we basically grab this algorithm, and it sorts all the stocks in the markets every 30 seconds by which are the strongest and which are the weakest on the daily chart. Now, I've taken that algorithm and I just flipped it, and we have that in the system as well. We're just calling it TI weakness. So this is basically sorting all of the stocks out there by how long they've been in a downtrend and how weak that downtrend's occurred. If there's some names here. We all know AMC hit new lows again yesterday. So a lot of these names look bearish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of these names, and if they start to break key levels, then that's where I'm going to short to kind of hedge against some longs that I'm still carrying on. So first one here, we have Mattel. So MAT was long this early or later last year. I don't think that trade worked out too well, and now it's gapped down and it's failed to retake that gap at 20. It's got a pretty clean level here at 18. It bounced off that 3-4 times. If it gets below 18, I see it from this algorithm, so I want to take a short under that area. Next one here is PTEN, PTEN. This one's about $10.50 is the area. One thing that was interesting to note, I wanted to bring you guys a selection from different sectors based off what I saw here, but there was a lot, and I mean a lot, like the top 10 to 15 names here are from oil and gas extraction stocks and sectors. So I just wanted to point that out when I was talking about this one, because if you don't like this particular name, that oil and gas extraction sector may be a good place to look, because a lot of them have been in a downtrend for a while and are hanging out on lows. So that's P10 here. Next one is LAC. This is a lithium company. So I think this is getting hammered in the same way that solar is getting hammered. In the same way, a lot of these EV names are also getting in trouble as well. Just massive downtrend. This chart alone has it down from $30 to $6, and it's hanging out right near those lows. If it breaks and makes fresh lows, that's probably where I'm going to punch in there as well. Last but not least here is Bumble. I believe this one's a dating app. I'm an old married man, so I don't really know, but it can't hang out above 15. It's tried. It broke down 15. Next time it gets above 15, 2-3 times here, it fails. So for this one, I'm going to play against that $15 level. If it stays below that, I'm going to push down. Now, I did want to do one caveat. Swing trading things short is way more dangerous than swing trading things long, right? You know, it's very possible that a Bumble or something gets bought out, and that's a 50% move or something overnight. So I just wanted to give that caveat that I swing trade short, but I just know that there's more risk involved in that. So I will take these positions smaller. Again, just for any new trader out there that doesn't know, you know, when you buy something, it can only go to zero. When you short something, especially overnight, you incur that risk. So make sure you're trading that with a responsible size.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I was going to go back to that exact thing. If you had to maybe put a number on it, or a ratio, if you will, long versus short, how much time would you say you spend actually with a short position?
Very, very little. So longs, I'm uncomfortable holding. I'm still in some Mara from $10 months ago when I was talking about it on here. And I'm comfortable putting that away, and as long as it stays above key moving averages, sticking with it for a long period of time. Something like Bumble, if I take it at 15 and it moves to 13 or 14, I'm going to take that off, because you're holding that risk overnight. You also have to pay a little bit of a fee to hold shorts overnight. So it's not consequential, but I just don't like doing that. So I essentially want to be tactical with my shorts around an overall long portfolio. So the market drifts higher over time. Like I said, and like Sean said, we're probably pulling down into a support zone. We'll probably settle into that support zone at some point and bounce. So I want to make sure that I'm just staying engaged and profiting a little bit on the way down, and then flipping into long when the market kind of shows me that it's ready.
Because I know we'll probably get the question, have you done any work on it, or is an inverse ETF in a situation like this where we've had, you know, such an extended move in the overall market, and we're just looking to take advantage of maybe, you know, a directional change for a short amount of time? Is that something that you've spent some time on?
I do, and I enjoy those. And for a lot of people, that may be the move. So say you have a long portfolio of, you know, 5-10 names, and you're worried about a move in the short term. I heard Sean talking about the SQQQ. It might make sense. Pick up a little bit of that to hedge that against your portfolio, because you do get not only the upside when the market goes down, but you get a leveraged upside. So you can put a little bit less capital into something like that. And then if you're right and the market sells off, you get a pretty good move on that. Now, the one thing I always like to say about these inverse ETFs is they use derivatives to gain this leverage. And those derivatives degrade over time. So just like shorting stocks, inverse and leverage ETFs, both of them are meant as trading vehicles, right? If you take, I think it's LABU, and you zoom way back on a monthly chart, you can see that the thing just reverse splits and moves lower and reverse splits over time. And they will do that because they're using these derivatives or options that expire over time. So for short-term tactical plays, yes, just make sure you're not planning on holding these for a very long period of time.
Well said. Michael Noss, CMT over at Trade Ideas. Have a great weekend.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Michael. And falling down into support is not what AMC is doing, because when he was showing that list, it was actually something that we were talking about before we came on, that look, there was a lot of opportunities this week to trade, but this might have been the easiest one. Look, in complete and utter hindsight, the flat bottom break on AMC when it took out like the $6 level 2 days ago, and then just a clean continuation. So suffice to be said, this is headed back to, okay, fine. Maybe it's not headed back to where it was when it split, but certainly headed to $5 at least. So back to the $5 level, which was some support, and same thing with 4, but those are all pre-split prices. So like a light flat bottom breaks as a setup. This is maybe one to watch at that $5 level, and definitely at that $4 level if it can catch a bit of a bounce off of those prices, like scalp kind of levels, because reverse splits, you can see it does drop precipitously, but it has these nice little levels that'll fall into, like 650, where it bounces 10-15%, and then it made a bit of a wall there at $6. Once that's broken, you just look for that next little shelf, and then it gives you a couple days worth of trade. I'm now into Amazon, but I don't know if this is going to last at that 144 level. Might be jumping out of that because the market's starting to come back in here.
Yeah, the market's coming back up. Okay, the market, coming back up right now. Shout out to Michael Noss there as well, trying to look for some short opportunities. It might be a little late. I mean, I don't think it's late to look for opportunities. It's just, I wonder if after, like I was saying, after that 5 or 6 days, we're now into the 6th day, as I'm just trying to adjust some charts here, of downside moves. We'll have to wait. I was looking at oil, actually. All right, so here comes the market straight back up to the upside, 45.60. I just think 45.80, we call it a day, right? I mean, yesterday's close was right there. So if we're going to get hit on this, we do want to make sure that we get something out in and around this area. I'll have one more short up near the 200 period moving average, and then that will be that. So let's wait to see. We're in the short now. We're short at 30. We don't have any problems holding on to this. But again, you know, we've sat here on economic days and seen the market once we open up just absolutely take off. So this could just ramp the rest of the day. And like I said, I feel like this number probably gets revised anyways, and maybe there is some sort of a relief rally. And I do think that a lot of it could have been sparked. I mean, look, Apple is in 332 ETFs, you know, of which case it's the top 15 holding in all of those ETFs. You know, so if Apple's going to bounce off 180, I could see the market trying to feel ways about that and then making a nice little move up, only for this market to open up and everyone will think that this is a good opportunity to sell Apple through 180. So let's just wait to see when volume actually comes into this market, what we're going to have on our hands. I don't think it's worth averaging into anything now. We have our outs. Let's not dig too big of a hole before this market opens, because we could blast. There's a lot of traders that are short, you know, heading into Friday. They got the number they wanted, but the market's not really reacting the way I feel like it would have, knowing what that number was so aggressively to the upside on jobs. Look at the imbalances. Very, very little interest here on anything, I feel like. So let's just wait. CCL is a sell. I don't think that really matters. Verizon, I mean, NIO, you know, still at that $8 mark. Ford, we will be talking about Palantir. Finally, a JP Morgan sell side here. Like, I don't know, not much action on here, and it's a Friday, and we're just kind of like getting back to it. School starts on Monday, people coming back to the office. I think we just kind of continue the trend lower, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do get that little bump early. Remember a couple of days ago, we shorted Apple, like Apple ripped up $3 or $4, or maybe not $3 or $4, but you know, a couple percentage points to the upside, and then we were able to hit it down. I could see some sort of exuberance happening here off the open, people covering their shorts, and then the smart money comes in and I think starts to sell it down. So let's wait to see what happens here, and let's go back to the desk. Oh, 20% off Trader TV 20, by the way. Make sure you get that with trade ideas. And I want to thank Michael Noss for coming through once again.
Yeah, go grab that. Lots to look at this time of the year over the weekend, even if you want to check out trade ideas. One of those days where the overall market is going to be the main story, maybe with this jobs number, but there's still some analyst moves to take a look at, upgrades and downgrades with Ladera over at the screen.
Snowflake here. Trading up a little bit higher for getting an upgrade from RBC Capital Markets. Price target of 230. Q2 getting an upgrade from UBS. Freshworks here a little bit higher today, getting an upgrade from Jefferies Financial. And last but not least, Experian getting an upgrade from Exane BNP Paribas. This first downgrade actually featured on the watch list. You can get more details there. PayPal getting downgraded by BTIG Research. Details for this were basically that they were a little bit concerned about PayPal's focus with regards to profitability going into fiscal year 2024. Definitely check the watch list out for more details on that downgrade. We also have a downgrade from Wells Fargo for First Hawaiian Bank. United Rentals getting downgraded by Exane BNP Paribas. And last but not least, Exane also downgrading Manpower Group here, guys.
Thank you very much, there, Dara. We have PayPal on the watch list, but it is worth mentioning it's at the 50. I'm going to get to Snowflake in a second, but this is at the 50 period on the daily. That's a pretty key level. It just rejected the 200 a few days ago, so it pulls back off the 200 period, and right as it gets to the next key level, boom, slap that downgrade after it's fallen from one key level to the other one. That's a good scalp trade if you can pull that off. To be sure, and maybe you get some exit liquidity here at the 50 period moving average. I do think when I see something like this, and I'll talk about this with Tesla, when you have a previous bottom at like a 58.30, 58.40, right around where it closes, and then you close at the same price, that instantly becomes a level of interest. The stock closes the same place in 2 days, then I like it as a level almost regardless if I'm trading that stock. So look at that 58.5, just above the 50 period. If it holds that and starts breaking out above, I would not want to be fighting a short above that on PayPal, regardless of upgrade, downgrade, or anything like that. Snowflake isn't doing a ton of volume, but it does have two things going for it, 187 and 180, the price, 187. I can make a reference, but I probably won't. So double top the last couple of days in Snowflake. I wish there was more volume here. If there was more volume, I might have this higher on the list for a breakout long, because we've been down a few days in a row. Some stocks look like they could bounce, and you got bounce off 180. If 187 goes, you could have a move into 190 there for a breakout play. But even with an economic number, we've done 40,000 shares on Snowflake. That's not one that I would want to get triggered into in the pre-market or right at the open on the highs when it's not doing volume. Snowflake's the kind of stock where if it rejects that break on low volume at the open, like it could snap back to like 183 and it'd be like $3-4 out of the money almost instantly. But if we get it, 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and when things settle down after the open and it's taking out that level, then it becomes interesting for me.
AMD got an upgrade? I didn't know that, pitch you bull. I will have to look at that, because if AMG's, if this is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for good news to hit some of these beat up names, and when they do, then I want to go short. I want to go long. So I'll have to double check that AMD upgrade. I just wrote down PayPal here. I just ran out of space, ran out of time, ran out of everything. But yeah, it's downgraded PayPal. Year of the efficiency needs to start kicking in for them. Let's just see. I like that downgrade. I feel that we'll be able to short this name. I was gonna. What did I write down on here? I wrote down 59, so I wanted to see if we can get back to yesterday's levels. I wrote down all these levels because we had non-farm payrolls come through, so it was very, very shaky on where some of the levels may or may not be once we started up here. So I feel like you could short into yesterday's close, like maybe start it at 58.50 and then watch out for 59. The reason why we talked about 59 is we had the high there yesterday, midday, $59, right? So it's like I'm looking at that level there and thinking if we're getting downgraded and the market is southbound, which it's not right now, then possibly a area of concern to short. Like PayPal's not going to get green, I don't think, today. If it does, the market's really rallying, and then we're not going to short it anyways. So if the market's flat, I like the downgrade, play relative weakness right here. The market just tested some of those highs as we are short again. Well, we're still short the same trade here. The TQQ is waiting for that level to break. So we're short now at 44. It just touched the 200 period. Let's see if we fall from here. It's the TQQs, and we're short against, I mean, I was going to use 80s. I feel like we can even just go a little bit higher. We could just use 46 flat. I mean, we don't have a lot of shares. I don't really want to mess around too much with this. So let's use 46 flat as our out here for the TQs, and just continue to watch what happens.
Yeah, it was KeyBank, Sean, with a note on AMD today, maintaining an overweight with price target increase to go along with that. That's the note there on AMD. Let's get a look at the overall market here to kick things off at 9 o'clock with Sharif.
47.29, that's where we closed out yesterday. The overnight low that we just touched right now, 47.02. So let's go ahead and say 4,700 resistance. Let's see if we can stay above there. The overnight high, 47.36. If we can clear that, let's look at the 50-point area as a possible resistance level, 47.50.
If you have not done so yet, I have a free thing for you. Go to watchlist.tradertv.live, enter your email address, or scan that QR code, and then you get that. Everything you need to know every single day in the pre-market from us to you for absolutely nothing. 1.6 million vehicles in China getting quote-unquote recalled again for Tesla. So a bit of a gap to the downside here. I mean, I feel like this is an overall just extension of the move. This story going to be a nothing, as similar ones in the US lately have been a bit of a nothing burger, but Tesla right now trying to break session highs here.
Yeah, Brendo, it's essentially a problem with the driver assistance feature that could increase the risk of crashes, and it's basically an over-the-air update, much like the one that was in the United States. 1.6 million vehicles, as Brendo mentioned, the Model Y, Model 3, Model S, and X, for all cars built between August 2014 and last month, will receive an update.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that we talked about last month in the US. If you remember, they were called 120,000 in the US for essentially the same thing. So now a little bit more in China, but as we said, this is not a big deal, guys.
No, well, I know you said air quotes with the whole recall thing, because you know how it works with them in Tesla, so I won't get into that too much. But a fun thing is happening on Tesla, and maybe it'll give a better opportunity to trade this today. So the last 2 days, pretty much the same close. The 2 previous days, pretty much the same close. Now I like that level. It was 248.5 that it closed twice in a row to end the year, to start the year. And I was looking for fades off that level. It never got there. That's a bad wick. It didn't come within $2 at the open to short in front of that level or to break it out. Now today you have the same thing 2 days in a row. It's about 238, give or take 10 cents in either direction. If this thing can take out the quarters, like 238.25, I think it's a breakout zone for Tesla, with room to that other 248 level. Maybe the 242 is more realistic for a near-term target, but then you've got a big gap between 42 and 48. Like, I think that gives you a couple of trading opportunities off of a key level. I can't remember the last time I saw that happen specifically, where you have a stock just continuously closing 2 days in a row at one price, move to another price, close 2 days in a row at that same price. I doubt it repeats that pattern, but it does mean that's an area of interest for me on Tesla. And the market's trying to break out these highs. It's might be taking this out on Amazon, which I will still in Apple, but Tesla over 238 is one that I am looking for some longs here. I think, we've had so many down days in a row. At the end of the day, there's usually going to be bounces at some point. You just look for those key signs here, and breaking out a price like that is a good one for Tesla.
Yeah, I'm trying not to mess with it too much in and around that area, but I do. We've talked about closing prices before, in 238. I mean, that's going to be a good one there. Closed yesterday 238. So if the market does go green today, you're going to want to pick on names that have the ability to really get going. I went the other way just as far as looking a little bit higher on the stock, and I was just thinking that yesterday we had this short at the end of the day. So that was off 240. We had $2 right there at the end of the day, and it was a great trade, and thankfully we had it, because we were going long Tesla, which was fine, and then we started going short, and then eventually it broke. The dam broke, and we fell down through 240, and we were ticking these tops. I just want to try that again. The market right now, to me, I'm not convinced is a long yet here today, although if it goes green, then, which it's very, very close to doing that, completely different story. But no matter what happens here, Tesla doesn't have good stories today. I agree that recall might be a nothing burger, but I don't really, that's not a positive catalyst. So I'm going to keep going short. We will be hearing at some point this person eventually will be coming in and probably buying some. I feel a couple days ago they bought a couple million shares as well. So yeah, downside move, and you are falling right into the 50-period MA again, which is a fantastic buy opportunity, generally speaking. Look at this thing, really respect this 230 area. So if you're long Tesla, and I talked about this with Danielle Shea on the market recap show yesterday, and how much fun did we have with her, this 230 area definitely would be something where you'd think if you dip down a little bit more, which could be today and then maybe Monday, I could see some buyers coming through around 230. So for me, I'm going to stay net short this name, and it's going to start at 240, no earlier.
Just reading an interesting story on Google right now. Apparently Google's first smartphone was 13 years ago. If you can believe that. That seems like a long time.
It used to be called the Nexus, right?
Yeah, and then they went to the Pixel. Yeah, after that initial. But this was just one of those stories that if you invested $1,000 in Google back then, it would be worth $9, I guess, now.
Wow.
Not bad. Anyway, what were we talking about? All right, Apple. Yeah, nice look for Apple here, right back to almost positive off of what happened yesterday. There we go. 181, 182 coming into play. I was just telling Sharif I threw out a bid lower this morning, but I didn't get any.
You might get it. Who knows?
There's time.
Look, no specific Apple news today, more about Foxconn, Apple's biggest supplies distributor or manufacturer. Look, they had a weaker December 2023 than what analysts were expecting. However, it is their slow time of the year. Here's what they say. Basically, said the overall operations of the first quarter of 2024 are supposed to be their traditional off-peak season. However, 2023 revenue was also down compared to 2022. So said company's revenue for December 2023 declined 26.89% year over year. That could have something to do with interest rates and demand for iPhones, but nothing was specified.
Oh yeah, as well. If you remember, Goldman Sachs and Apple came out, I think it was November, and said they were going to phase out the card and the banking agreement they had. Until they do that, you can now get 4.35% yield for savings accounts that are linked to your Apple card from Goldman Sachs until it is no longer a thing. So good luck for Apple.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can get good returns just about everywhere. Like we're discussing with Mr. Buffett and the cash that he's rolling in every time he gets these dividends. So Apple is relatively okay. Fine, it's relatively strong, but only by a really small margin. I just double checked the NASDAQ. It's like 0.1411, and it's like basically the same thing. But it did bounce when the NASDAQ was making lows. It's fallen every single day this week. It's been a short the pop that worked every single day this week. The only difference for me today is it finally got to the 200 period moving average on the daily. I use a simple moving average, so that's what the dark blue line is, and it's right at the 180 level. That's the reason for the trade. I probably, no, I'm not going to cancel it. I was about to cancel a bid in front of 180 if it comes down there again, but I'll leave that one in there. It's 910. We're getting to the open. It's a defensible level on the daily chart. It bounced when the market made a fresh low on the NASDAQ, on the ES, when we got that NFP number. Apple held 180. So that's the reason I like the long, scalped it into 81 or in front of 81, and now looking for a re-entry. I think it can be a long off the 180 level. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to be long at like 182 in the pre-market. So I'm going to stick to that level until it shows me a reason it's strong enough to take the stairs up. And if you're looking for resistance, I like to keep it simple. You had a bit of a top yesterday at 183 and just above it, pre-market highs around there, and then the previous day's low was 183.5. So that's the short zone for me, like 83 to 83.5. I know I'm going to like some resistance if it starts to curl at a level that was previous support 2 days ago and resistance yesterday. But the 180 level, we said that's the first place we'd look for a long this week, and that's the first place it's made a good bounce, at least early anyways.
Yeah, for me, again, like yesterday we made the mistake of going long Apple. I just don't want to make it again today. I don't think the market's a long. Apple was actually the worst performing out of all the Mag 7s last year. Now you're heading into possibly a worse year for the Mag 7 and for all these big cap tech names. I think 180 continues to be sold off on Apple here. I put 182 also as a jump spot there for if we get that move to the upside. And again, I wrote all these pre NFP, right? So there's 182. It's yesterday's close. That's what we're looking at. I don't want to short right off the jump. Like I said, I feel that there will be some buy coming in to start the day, possibly. That's just my feeling. So what I'm going to do is I'm sitting here at 182.50 to short Apple. And then again here at 183. And then I was just going to use something up here, 183.20, 183, in order to be wrong. I just, let's get aggressive and be wrong, somewhere up here, 183 and change, the same kind of levels that Neil was talking about. That's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to be trying to build a short in here. Let's see if it pops up right now for Apple. I don't like the story here. I'd rather fade Apple right now than go long. And if it gets down into 180, then we'll have another decision spot as well. But for me, I feel like I'm just going to wait short. Like, I probably won't even go long 180. I mean, I wrote down 180 break short on this name. So let's just wait to see. Obviously, we got a nice bump up there off of that number, like, you know, the whoosh down and then just bought right back up. So now we'll have to wait to see. Like, you're still underneath 16,500. You know, I'd like to see that level be tested at some point as well, as we just continue to hold on to this TQQ trade as well. So, yeah, I'm still red in the market. And when you've got dead red, you can't buy Apple. So I'm just going to wait. I could be wrong. Yesterday was my worst trade off the open. We went long. We went short, got stopped out. And I just don't want to do that again here today. So let's just wait to see what Apple wants to do. And yeah, Benton, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about oil a little bit, and I was looking at it earlier and what oil's doing off this kind of a number. USO is kind of just straight up to the upside. I don't have on this platform. Well, we do have, I just can never remember the symbol, so I always go over here to the continuous contract. So crude oil right now, light crude, light sweet, is up to $74, looking to take out some levels here on crude. So as you can see, we're still trying to get above that 76. When we do that, then I think we can see 80, but we got to get above the 50-period moving average here on crude, and we've danced around that a couple times, but a great bottom over the last little while as this starts to go back up to the upside. As I said, man, this is that inflation story. If oil can start to tick back up, that's not going to be great for people's pocketbooks, and the Fed will definitely should be looking at that. So USO up another 2%.
Not one, but two interesting downgrades to look at this morning. The first one here from Jeffries on Palantir. I had to zoom out a little bit here, but you got to go all the way back to December 1st, or I guess it was the middle of December. We were above 20 bucks, all the way back to 15.50 here this morning now. Jeffrey's thinking 13 is more appropriate for PLTR.
Yeah, analyst Brent Hill at Jefferies basically expressing concern, saying that the rally is unsustainable. They're riding on an AI euphoria with no monetization strategy. Also saying longer than expected demand recovery in the company's commercial and government business will weigh down its growth in 2024. So he has a couple of negative notes on it. It should be noted, Palantir was up 167% in 2023.
High on the relative volume scale this morning as well, already 1+. So just a heads up, 4% though, guys, for Palantir, Sean.
Look, I mean, lower interest rates means, if we get lower interest rates, should mean that, you know, a company that's a tech company like this should be able to invest a little bit more capital into figuring out exactly how they're going to use and monetize with AI. They've got 4 straight quarters of EBITDA profitability. Once they hit the 5th one, you're going to get this included in the S&P 500. I just don't believe that this is a short. Now, has it come back in? Of course, we talked about this again. Where do we want to buy Palantir? Very, very soon. I mean, we thought this could happen. We've been watching Affirm, we've been watching DraftKings. All of these high-flying names, they go up when times are great, and then they get hit when everybody's worried again. I mean, everybody wanted to buy the IWM. Everybody wanted to buy all of these smaller names, right? And then when they fall out of bed, they fall out of bed. So look, Palantir got their Army contract from the U.S. Reinstated. They're going to get all their Army contracts, Navy, everything is going to be re-upped. I like the name. I just think that, yeah, it's got to fall back in. And every time it has, once, twice, thrice, quarters, it's going to happen again right now. Falling back into these levels, I don't think it's probably not time to pick up that falling knife yet. But at some point, I feel like you're going to want to sit here and buy some Palantir. With that being said, I like Palantir, but I am waiting for a short today. It's a downgrade, and I'm not going to mess around with that. So I'm looking for a short up here into 16. If we break 16 and get through like 16.20, then we can get out of that short. But I am sitting up here right now with an offer at 16 bucks. If we rally upside, I want to take that and then fade it off of this little level 16.20. So I still like Palantir. I think you got to hitch your wagon to some of these lower stocks. And, you know, on any beatdown names, this would be the #1 name for me to buy if I'm buying lower. I think it's a high quality name. It's just, it's not like that tech wow name that we have here. So I like to buy Palantir. I do think there's a lot of opportunity here for them to grow, especially if they get the consumer figured out, then it's smooth sailing. But Palantir in for a little bit of a rough ride today, I think.
That's a big step for them. Like going from the big commercial contracts to getting that next step. And it's, look, Palantir, we always talk about like how do we find things, like how do we find a level on the mix. This morning, zoom out, and if you look at the daily chart, only one big level marked off, and that's the support at about 1365. But notice the 200 period moving average is coming in. So if most stocks on this pullback have been getting there, did we come all this way not to test 15 bucks? I don't know. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. And might not I like the double bottom. I like support to resistance. So if it double bottoms at 16 and it comes back into 16 and it's got a bad catalyst, I'm looking to fade that price. And if it gets to the previous close, 2 days ago it closed at like 10s or so, and then yesterday's close is at 25. That's a short, to me it's a shorting zone, and it has to, I needed to break the quarters before I like the long, just because it happened to close at 16.25. That could be a distinction without a difference of 5 cents. But that's just what I'm looking at for Palantir. If it does get to the 50 period on the daily, yeah, I'd look for a bounce play there. The same way Apple bounced off. If it's all the way testing, this is about 1480. If we drop 80 pennies on Palantir, another 5%, would I look for a bounce as a day trader? Sure, but it has to get there first.
All right, PayPal, the other one we were mentioning early on this morning, BTIG with a downgrade on PayPal. Another chart that looks very similar in that of Affirm or SoFi even, we were talking about earlier in the week, just stair-stepping to the downside here. We're all the way back to 58 after a nice move into the end of the year. So yeah, BTIG now jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, reducing from buy to neutral, basically saying, Brendo, returning PayPal to a consistent and profitable revenue growth is a multi-year initiative rather than a 2024 story. They say, we think there is a fair amount of cleanup that needs to take place first. In the more immediate term, they go on to say they believe the cost-saving opportunities for PayPal to pursue to drive EPS growth. So we'll have to wait and see how they do. Should be mentioned, 23 of 45 brokerages have this as a buy or higher, and 22 have it as a hold. So,
just for some perspective, if you zoom out a little bit, we're still firmly in this downtrend on the daily chart. That's a weekly, still on a huge pullback now, guys, for PYPL.
This is the kind of stock where if I was looking to buy PayPal, instead of trying to catch a bid, I'd only be buying it when it shows me signs of breaking the trend. Like on the daily here, like if it's not closing, I'd probably pull up a weekly instead of a daily because it's broken the 200 period moving average for like a day or two and then falling back under.
That's exactly what I said.
So I pretty much would need this thing to, I'd need this to close above on a weekly, above the 200, above this 200 period on the daily. So if it breaks 64 and consolidates above there for more than 2 or 3 days, hopefully like a week, I think that's a stronger look for a long. Until then, the trend is to the downside, and if the trend's down, I favor shorts. And if I'm favoring shorts, previous close, previous resistance, now we're bouncing pretty decently. You're already through yesterday's bottoms. So I guess you have the yesterday's close at 58.50, and then you've got 59 and change to the upside on PayPal. So observe the trend, join the trend. This is a stock that needs to do something to get some kind of relief. Like it didn't get the bounce that Square did, basically because of crypto. And it's been in the doldrums, and there hasn't been that much sign of strength. It's just been sell off, sell off, sell off. The trend is clearly downside.
Yo, what happened to your barber?
So it's a bit of a story.
Okay.
Well, I basically,
we can save it for the show.
Yeah, we can save it for a little bit later.
All right.
It's 5:22 already.
Yeah. All right. So $59 there on PayPal. This is the short for me. Let's let it go to the upside again. I mean, it might be a short a lot earlier than that, but PayPal's still red here. Look at 59. It comes into 1, 2, goes back 2 days. That $59 top there. I don't think we break it today. Could be completely wrong. If this is the update that I'm not expecting, then this is the update that I'm not expecting. I mean, you know, it doesn't feel like this is going to be a free fall anything today. So let's just wait to see what happens. I'm not overly bearish or bullish now. But yeah, PayPal, you got to watch out for it, man. I mean, this has been really hit. Like we talked about Affirm. Remember when we were talking about being short Affirm, $51 north of 50, and I called the 3 handle, and everyone was like, it's not, 3 handle. Well, I mean, we almost got a 3 handle today. We got down to 41 and change as Affirm comes all the way to the downside. If stocks like this, PayPal, are getting hit, then Affirm is going to get pulverized. So just watch out here. You're down to again, a lot of these names are down to the 50-period moving average. We've charted a lot on this show. When you get 50-period moving averages, a lot of the time there is going to be some support there, just like there's resistance when you're breaking it to the top side. So, you know, could be a buy spot here. I don't think so. I think it's a fade. I think PayPal probably rests its head somewhere around this $54 mark at some point. And to me, that's where you buy it. Get this garbage out of here down near 50, try to buy near 54 and see if it holds. But for right now, if you buy 58s, you know, and it gets back in, this is a 20% hit once you break $50. So you got to watch out for PayPal and catching this falling knife, especially if they're getting downgraded, because it's just like, we've seen what happened, man. Barclays started it all a couple days ago with that downgrade on Apple. And since then, you know, now you're right back into 180, and that's a high quality company. What are you going to do with PayPal here, right? There's a lot of traders that have made a lot of money trying to buy that bottom. But the question is, did you sell? Because right now you're back down into $58. That's the question we have with all of these trades. You guys all made, and we all did, everybody made a lot of money going long in October, November, December. All right, but it's like, did you sell? You know, people did not want to sell heading into the end of the year because they don't want to pay taxes. Well, now you're going to be paying taxes if you're selling now, but you're paying taxes on a lot less equity. So let's just wait to see what happens here. It's been a nice downside move for some of these names. PayPal with the downgrade, and I believe in it, so short 59.
Nice two-day move, meanwhile, here for Peloton. 2 days in a row, back to the upside. Even right now, we're trying to test that pre-market high. Coming off that note yesterday, if you missed it, they're teaming up with TikTok to bring their quote-unquote workout content to the TikTok community, Sharif.
It's Peloton, Brendo.
Sorry. Okay.
Hey, I'm not making it up. Shout out to CNBC.
CNBC is making it up.
Yeah, for coining that phrase, Peloton, whatever that is. Essentially, the deal will create a hub for Peloton content, including short-form fitness videos and classes on social media platform. Peloton's trying to diversify away from expensive equipment and trying to create, you know, more of a SaaS model with lower monthly fees. We'll see how they do.
The Peloton app should be available shortly. I don't know. I can't.
Nah. I mean, okay, fine. Like, people can call it whatever they want. So Peloton, I'll get to just a quick thing before we get to Peloton. Amazon, told you guys where I had my stop. After market range and where we closed is about 144.5. Pre-market highs that's right about that 70-75 level. So just like a penny or two above there is where I'm going to stop out. If it goes into 146, which is the next level up, in my opinion, like that's where it held and had a bit of a consolidation in either direction, then that's where I would look for another fade on Amazon. But it's now green, so it'll take a lot of patience the way this market is going back into the upside. If I had a crystal ball, probably I'd still be holding the Apple long, but we don't have crystal balls around here. You have to trade it. And at 8:30, I'm looking for a scalp play on that Apple long. Peloton is up 7%, and Peloton barely budged when we had that NFP number and the market went to the downside. Peloton just has to get through 670. Really, like you look at this on the daily, it's 3 times September, and then I guess twice, and once in November and once in December at the 670. So it's above 650 now. If this takes out 670, I'm looking long. As long as it holds on to 650 as well, which is a bit of a local top right in here, I'd look for some strength off the open at 650 to go into the 670 long. So, you know, I'm looking for a continuation day on Peloton to the upside. The 670 is definitely the bigger level here. So regardless of what you think about this company's prospects in the long term, it's still 14% short the last I looked at it, and on a bit of a tear. If it gets through that key level on the daily, it can be all systems go.
Yeah, I wrote down there for Peloton just to break this 675. So I already have the order in. I like this long. I'm going to take it. A break here. And I think we could do it with some serious shares too. A break here on Peloton of 675. I think that's a great level. This is a daily chart, man. It goes all the way back to August. So like you break here with a catalyst, I like it. We only have a few minutes to go. The market is rallying up here and nothing we can do about it. We have the market on open and orders that I'm guessing are coming to the buy side here. Like I don't really see anything on here of significance. We have Palantir with a sell. We've already sort of gone over that one. And I don't see anything else, but these TQs is getting to a level now where we're getting ready, man. We talked about punching ourselves out here if we break above this 46 level. So we got to watch out for that. As the markets just kind of drifted up. We don't have a big position or anything like that. I was expecting a bump up to start the day. I just didn't think it would happen in the pre-market as the NASDAQ right now is going green. And there it is. Congratulations, man. If you are a bull, it's been a nice little run over the last couple minutes. And quite frankly, could continue, man. I mean, this market rally could continue to the upside here. So let's just be careful. It's been 5 straight down days. You could get a little bit of a market bounce like we're getting. Watch out. It's just positive. It's not like we're rallying here or anything, but it is a nice bottom to top move. We're still looking at 16,500 here on the NASDAQ. So with only a minute left, we'll get Sharifa Adera on the bell. Here's 16.5 right here. So that's where the 50-period moving average is. We'll see if we can get somewhere up to this level. And then that's maybe where the short is ignited, I guess, ignited. So we're going to wait for that one. But the market for right now is taking my lunch as it's going back up here, up to the upside. Watch out for a 46 break. Looks like it's going to happen immediately off the open.
Yeah, we're about 30 seconds to go, and the market is absolutely screaming in here. I was just taking a quick look at, it's been a hot minute since we talked about Meta. Meta had a 348 top here yesterday. I just saw someone in the chat mentioning the same thing. This wasn't on my radar until just now when this was pointed out 1, 2, 3 times at that 48. That looks like if the market can't get through overnight highs, that's a good fade level. I do like 46 on Amazon if it gets to that price. But we got 4 seconds, so we open it up here, Adair. So in 3, 2, and 1, ring it.
All right, here we go. Market be open. I mean, the one trade I could get into immediately is going to be Peloton, so we'll watch out for that. We'll try to dip buy a little bit in Peloton. If that does come through, we will take that. Apple's near our level of 182 that we wrote down on the sticky note, but again, I'll start a short right now, but this is not... I already talked about the levels I want to wait for, right? I'm currently offering 182.50 for some shares, and then 183 for some shares, and then we'll get out if we break too much above that 183 level. But we'll just start a quick little short here on Apple, but it is going to be that. It's just very, 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 very quick. This market is a little bit silly right now. Let's see where it goes. I mean, it's still going
the upside right now.
Still going higher, man. PayPal just chilling though.
Yeah, no, PayPal's not doing much. I think Palantir could come first. Oh,
Palantir's in now.
Intel, I had a note on Intel about 47. So 47 yesterday, just wicked 47. Want to look for the short. But it looks like it's Palantir. Did I say PayPal instead of Palantir just now?
Holy
Palantir
shit,
breaking
is that
the
real?
$16 level. Did you see?
We are well in the money, man. There was a huge level there at 90. I don't know what the hell happened, but this is a money-making opportunity right now for PLTR, man. We told you we were shorting $16, and that's exactly what we did, and we did it with some big boy shares. So let's go and see what does happen now with PLTR on that short at 16. We're just starting to cover right now. If the market gets too juicy to the upside, then yeah, L time. But right there, nice. Oh, I didn't even saw that. Nice trade on Palantir, man.
I don't think that was real.
Oh, I wish I would have saw it, man, but I thought there was like 800,000 shares there or something on the bid there of PLTR. So let's just wait, man. We're in this short and it's working out. The TQs, though, going the other way, trying to take out highs. Palantir, watch out for that 16 break, man. That was a little scary. 16.15 is going to be my out for Palantir there. Something like up in this area. So we'll use that. There it is. It's the 50-period moving average. 16.15 for Palantir is going to be my out.
Yeah, so I actually saw something at 9. I saw his size, and I thought I saw someone follow it down on Palantir. And thankfully, I did not trust it right away and backed off at the 85 level, and then put a trade on in front of the 90, or sorry, in front of the even, where it makes a little bit more sense. Because I remember the books flashing some size yesterday at the open that wasn't necessarily to be trusted. So tighter to the 16 makes more sense. I want to get to Apple if I can for a quick second.
The market.
Apple is now approaching 183. So. Okay, obviously it would have been a hold at 180, is what it is. Scalp the trade, didn't hold on to it. 183 is the resistance zone that I'm looking for on AAPL. Where are we at on Intel? I'm surprised the way the market's flying that I'm not filled here off of yesterday's high. Pretty close to it, I suppose, but just waiting for the actual top here on Intel. Do not want, when the market's screaming, I don't want to be chasing to the downside too much. If something's reversing, I'd like to be taking it at the level that I want. So the market is definitely looking strong here.
Yeah.
I just got into that Intel. Apple is super strong. Tesla, which I thought had a chance to break out, cannot get through 238. So it never gave you the short off 238. It certainly isn't giving you the long off that 38 either. And Peloton's doing nothing.
Yeah, I know. That's disappointing. I thought we could have had something there with Peloton, to be honest with you. All right, we'll slap a little bit of a fail there. The market did continue to go to the upside there, so TQs out at 46 break. I don't know, man. We still have some shares there. I was going to try to give this a little bit more room, but yeah, the market, I mean, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And right now the market is long. And if you're short, you're wrong. So there goes Palantir again, breaking through 16 again. It's a good thing we took some out. We will average into this short again. We told you where our stop is going to be. So hopefully it can fall from here, but the market is definitely not a short at this correct time. We did talk about a price target upgrade there or something for AMD. Thanks to those in the chat that brought this to our attention. Look at this, up 1.5%. So as some of these tech names continue to rally a little bit here off the open, I guess that number was a little bit better than everyone thought. So nice move to the upside there. We did not get our full load there on Apple. It came pretty close. We were literally at 182.50. The high there, I just punched in because I was frustrated. It got to 182.49, so we are 1 penny away from getting a little bit more shares here on Apple, so we'll still stay in that pocket and see if that's the case. And then look at this, man. It's like I was just talking about how stupid kind of that downgrade was on Palantir, but yeah, I guess others agreed, and it's going to go up to the upside. I can't believe I'm going to lose on a short on Palantir. I guess I shouldn't be short on a stock that I really like the long on. All right, Palantir continues to go to the upside here, taking out 16.15. We'll have to get out of it. It's not too big of a hit. It's 15 cents. We've taken that kind of a winner before, but here we go. It's Apple just got filled up, and now it looks like Palantir looking to break that high as well.
Yeah, and sometimes you play in front of size, you get burned. Like I played in front of the size, which I'll use different amount of shares when I'm punching out on the size level. And so I punched out on 16, held on to the amount that I wanted to hold on to for the 16.20 level. And it looks like you're pretty much charging into it. The only good thing is, for now, Intel is really struggling at the 47 level. The market has been continuously making highs, and this cannot seem to break out that high of the day, but the market is super strong. You gotta be looking for some long opportunities. I wish I could tell you that I saw something up here on Apple. It's certainly strong, it's just too far to the upside for me to want to chase this. So I'm still shorting in front of 183. Gonna stick to our levels there. Peloton, disappointment, but QuantumScape from yesterday is trying to hold $9 on QuantumScape is trying to hold. If it makes that bottom and can take out the top, remember $10 was almost exactly the high of the day. We like even dollar levels. This is a squeeze potential name. It was up like a bajillion% yesterday. So look for some continuation in QS. I know we didn't talk about it pre-market.
Yeah, I know Sharif had QS there yesterday. I'm just still, Palantir did not break that level. Yeah, but it was pennies away from it. I'm debating like we could just get out for flat now on Palantir and be completely fine with it, and have already taken the profit on the name. We would be up on, what am I talking about? Flat on the price, but up on the day on Palantir. But I'm trying to get a little bit more greedy here in case this level does come in, but look at it. It doesn't want to break through 16. Like it's through it now, but it's not like, sometimes you get these breaks and it's slam city, So let's go. We're short now, 90. We're short of those. I just got some out at 97. I am bidding some more 95s, but really light. Like if we're gonna win on this trade, let's win on this trade, right? Like let's not just sort of pussyfoot around on this thing. Like let's make sure that we're able to get in and get out on this trade. So we just took a little bit more there. Again, looking for lower. If we get stopped out on the high side of this trade, we get stopped out on the high side. Let's see if it can pull back in. That is going to be PLTR. The other trade that I'm trying to work out or figure out here would be Apple. We let the short go way too early yesterday. We talked about that. It was disastrous. So right now, we're just going to do what we said, man. We're going to give it up to 183. I know Neil's mentioned that level as well. So we'll be patient with it. We're short good, man. I mean, I feel like we're short good. We're short at 35s. Obviously, we'd wish to have a little bit more on that and a better price, but I was trying to be as patient as I can. And again, I was waiting at 75. The high was 73. So if that comes back in, good on us, but for right now, it's not. So Apple, let's push lower. Palantir, let's push lower. We're net short now in a market that seems to want to take 16.5. That's the key for me here, Neil. We're just bouncing again near 16.5. It's going to have to fail. If it takes it out, then I'm going to be stopped out on everything. I'm pretty sure about that. The market will get super excited about that 16.5 take. So be very, very careful. I just took out more Palantir right now. I'm talking myself into that 16.5 break and not wanting to be overly short. So
it's a time to adhere to your stops today. That's one of those things. Like, well, I mean, it's every day is a time to adhere to your stops. but especially if you're against the grain. So just a quick update. As I said, I'm stopping out pre-market high to limit the damage on Amazon, and then when it goes to 146, wait for 146 to short it. Now it got up there to 90 something, and I grabbed it on the way back at 77, but it is absolutely screaming back into that 46. I'll give it a few pennies past. I don't like even dollar stops. Like the one thing that is falling is weird. Okay, it's not weird, but Intel continues to hold underneath 47. It's only weird because Intel was strong off of the Mobileye thing yesterday, and when I double-checked Mobileye was bouncing still. But Intel's working off the 47. So it broke, couldn't get through the afternoon high, and I just took some out there in front of 90. This is definitely a situation where you want to take some profit on shorts as they start to work because the market's going the other direction. I have 4 shorts on, and 3 of them are at or out of the money, and 1 of them is working. And the market's at the highs. Oh, as we're going to Adara at the desk.
Couple small cap runners moving right now, including Banzai at BNZI. This one's on the NASDAQ, up about 90% right now, executing a letter of intent to acquire IG Leads, I guess a generation platform. No financial terms disclosed, but very strong look here for BNZI, guys.
All right. Yeah. So by the way, like let's go right now, man. I just talked about reloading that Apple trade, and we did that, man. We did that at 75. I gave you the price target that I had there. I said I'm going to be shorting 75. I mean, this is how, honestly, you know, like we talked about being the honest, you know, the most honest show out there, and that's just going to be the fact. Like, I don't know if you guys believe me. Like when I say that I'm sitting at 75 and I just miss it by 1 penny, sometimes I laugh at myself because it happens so often. But it just came right back up. I didn't do anything, and then there's the fill again, right? So it's like sometimes you got to be sitting there to grab those fills, and I'm glad that you guys believe in us. There's Apple right now. I'm going to start taking some more out. We just got some out here at 25, 26. I'm bidding. There it is again. Bang on that one. So let's go, man. 50 cents now in the money on Apple, and no more bids. Like let's let this thing fall down. If it's going to work, like I said, let's let it work. We talked about shorting into 182. We got that bump up. I'm hoping it's going to work. Let's see. Yeah, what is that from?
It's a RuPaul. It's whatever.
RuPaul?
That cover girl stupid thing.
I don't know.
It's like an old commercial or whatever.
Oh yeah, work it, girl. Yeah, I know all that
I
stuff.
Actually don't know the rest of it, so in the moment I realized that I didn't know anything past that work part. Yeah. But Apple, as Sean said, the only difference for me is I'm going to get out off of this 181.75, like in front of 181.75, it gets down there. Reason is it's stair step to the upside in a strong market, and so if I'm going against the grain parabolically and it gets to my level, VWAP retrace or then first support. So if it gets to that first support level, I'm out. Just going to take out the trade. Amazon, sort of a similar idea here. I took some out there, 145.50. I didn't have a great entry when it wicked 146. Ideally on the way back, you want to get like 90s. I got 77. So if it gets down to 145, again, I'm out. The stock that I'd rather hold is the one that was working the whole way, but then now look at it. So the market goes up and Intel goes down. The market starts to come back down and Intel goes up. Go figure. But that's why I said take some profit out on the way to the downside. But if this takes out the local high here, going to jump out of the trade. I'll give it a chance to curl, and if it does, I can try to get some short here between 5s and 10s, or at least above 47. And then work back into the trade. Palantir is still at exactly $16. I punched out of 75% because that was based off of the size. That ended up being Fugaze, and I'm holding the other quarter for that 16.25 level. And now I will get to Palantir. Sorry, Peloton. Palantir on the brain, I was just talking about it. Peloton, I'm canceling for now. I'm canceling my breakout 670. No need to have that up there when the stock is in a bit of a free fall. I don't want it going 10% and then I punch the top of a move. If this can't hold on to the previous close, it could also be into a bit of a free fall. So looking for an Intel reload as long as it can show some weakness on this curl. Apple and Amazon now starting to work into the downside as the market starting to fall a little bit here off that 16.5 high.
Yeah, guys, remember, Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every single day, right? So, you know, please just understand that we're just day trading. We're taking fills as we see fills come through. We'll trade with different share sizes. We'll trade different names. We'll trade different strategies. And we just hope that one of them fits you. And if it doesn't, you sort of learn from what we're doing. We're here on a prop floor and have the ability to trade pretty much every market and every name. So we will talk more and more about what we're doing. There's Apple. It's now 70 cents in the money. So like I said, man, I had a couple fills up there. We had a comfortable position for myself. So we're able to take a little bit of trade off as it comes back down, but we do want to be able to hold it. And I said this every day, we get the big bangers all the time. It's just like when they start to go, I don't have anything left on board. So we're going to try to hold out for a little bit more on Palantir, and then we're going to watch out for Tesla. Tesla, look at the barcode on this name. I mean, back and forth, as if it wants to do something. All right, I might, now that I just got this fill, I'm actually going to take it out there at 21 a little bit here on Peloton. Look, we just got a fill down low side. I was not really expecting this name to fall here today. So it's definitely not working the way that I sort of thought that it would, but I was sitting there at 620 to get this fill ahead of like $6. But we're doing really well on the short right now. We've got finally some action here in Palantir. We finally got some action here in Apple. So do we want to like sort of rest our soul here on a Peloton, sorry. Man, trading Palantir and Peloton is going to be a problem for me. So I might just get out for that reason alone right now. But there it is. We're taking some out, 22s, 23s, 24s. If we're able to scalp this out and then hold a little bit of it, we'll do that. We're out of 1/3 already for about like 2, 3, 4 cents. So 5 cents. Here we go. Again, it's a bigger share position for me. It's Peloton. That's why we're scalping it out. Let's go Palantir, man. You are really the moneymaker for me. Let's get down into the downside, man. We've got this one, and I hope that we've got it good. If the market falls, then this one will be understood. Downside right now for Palantir, 91s. What's up, A?
Moving to the upside now after yesterday, after cutting some revenue projections for the preliminary earnings, now up about 3%. Popped up on volume here. Just wanted to put this one out. MBLY now moving to the upside after its big red day yesterday.
Mobile.
You know, that's the thing that was sort of, when I was getting into Intel working initially, if Mobileye is going to break out, remember that's why Intel was down. This actually turns into a long for me if we're breaking out above 47.25. This is a reversal play as long as there's strength in Mobileye. It was PayPal that I wanted to quickly get to because it is super strong. It just got to 59. Yesterday's high, you guys can see it there. I don't have to point that one out to you. So if we like that one for a level, well, we're here now. No question about it. The actual wick top was, I think, 59.10 yesterday. And then you go to the day before, it was like 59.16. So until it breaks that 3-day high, I want to look for a bit of a reversal scalp trade. Now remember, as Sean said, when you're day trading, like this to me is a scalp trade. I'm shorting it here to that high, which was at 16, which is about 20 cents worth of risk plus slippage, and then I'm looking for it to work back into previous support levels. So yes, it's against the grain, but it's a plan of action at a key price level. It's the same trade pretty much as Amazon was at 46, and the same trade as Apple was off of that 83 level. So PayPal, oh great, PayPal, Palantir. At least I'm not in.
I'm all about the P's, man.
At least I'm not in Peloton because that's actually kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah, we're in it all, man, right now. So let's just wait to see. We've got all the P's up in here right now. We've got Peloton, PayPal. Yeah, this might be a problem. Let's just wait to see if we can get anything going on right now. So there's Palantir. It doesn't want to go down. We talked about that. Maybe we have to buy a little bit more. But here's PayPal. Let's go, man. It's so nice we got it twice. The thing about PayPal is that I have to have it, right? Or else I won't be able to live with myself. Look what we wrote down, and I will be able to. Look what we wrote down right here, right now, man. PayPal, 59 short. We have to take it when it comes up to there. We're going to get out at 59.20, so we're short now at 59.02. We just got filled at 58.91. So we'll take 10 cents there on 10%. This is what we're trying to do. Let's see if we can get away with holding a little bit more here on this name. So that's what I'm trying, and let's just see if it works. Coming through right now, it's PayPal, and it's going to be the short that we wanted. And I just want to thank everybody for bringing that to our attention, because here we go, man, and it's going to be a big name for me again. Look at PTON first of all right now. Wow, like I said, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Yesterday we had some mistakes early. Today it looks like we're doing pretty good. Look at PayPal, nice little move to the downside again. We just talked about that. Went into the 80s. We didn't have any bids down there, but now we do. We were just taking profit on Peloton. Peloton, let's go, man. Spin that one off that bottom. 620. All right, long Peloton, short PayPal, trying to bank on that. We're short our PLTR. Let's go, baby, on that one. And then, of course, we're short Apple right now at 75 cents in the money. Let's see if Apple can get our infamous DTC, baby. It's $1 trade club time, and you're all a member of it if you're short Apple. Let's see if it goes. Palantir, man, let's sit back. Come on, Palantir. this is the one where we make all the money today. It's Palantir, it's PayPal. Let's see if it goes for me. By the way, I don't know where you're getting out of PayPal, but I just took another fill.
I'll get to PayPal in a second, but as you mentioned for Apple, I'm out of Apple in front of that support level. It wasn't support, it's more like a breakout level at the open. So if it can make a charge, a second charge, I'll look for a re-entry somewhere underneath there. But against the grain, I'm going to have my out and try to stick to it. It held that 180, which slightly changed things for me. Maybe we get to 180 and I'll hate myself for that. But for now, I'm out of that trade. The futures are still green and running to those highs. I, like yourself, took some PayPal out there on the initial push into 80s. Now I'm looking for the 70s, and this is also for me back into VWAP at 58.5. I'll be out of the trade there again against the grain. Stock is pretty strong. Want to make sure that we're taking this one out according to plan, because for me, that kind of a move, I'm not looking at it to go all the way to the bottom. I'm looking for it to pull back. Where people are probably buying dips that are looking for longs, I want to be making sure that I'm getting out. And then one more for you. I feel like there was a joke about P's and Q's that was, it was in my head and whatever, I missed it. There was a chance, Palantir, PayPal, all that good stuff, and then QuantScape is moving. QuantScape does not hold on to $9. This is a potential halt candidate because of its liquidity concerns. If it tries to make a push and fail in VWAP, I think that could be a parabolic short to the downside. I'm actually looking for a long in Intel now. As I said, with mobilized strength, the initial push was good, and then I got out when it took out the highs. If it holds on to 47 back, I'm looking for a long now on Intel, looking for a little bit of strength. And Tesla must have broken 238 just now. Yes, it did.
All right, so we just, let's just do it again, man, as John Travolta's like, who is this guy over here? There's Peloton again, a nice little move back up to the upside as we went long down there. We still have about a quarter of the position. Let's see if Peloton wants to continue to work. A good couple outs. Did we get anything out on Apple down there? No, we did not, I don't think. I thought we did. No, we didn't. Apple goes right into VWAP and I missed it. So bad on me, good on you, Adara. What's up?
Another small cap moving right now, SGD. This is Safe and Green Development getting another pop to the upside right now. Yesterday announced an update on their letter of intent to acquire Zine Real Estate. Apparently the acquisition has been negotiated. So that is the news on SGD moving to the upside right now, guys.
Zine. Oh, well, one last one for you. I forgot about Amazon. There as I was talking about P's and Q's. So Amazon scalped once into 145.50. It came back up to the 146 level, reloaded it, took the same 20 to 25 cents initial trade. This is a 145 push is what I'm looking for, just to pull back into that previous, support level, or breakout level would be in this particular case. So it is stair step to the upside. First short, second short off the high. Failed that 146 level, and I like that. When it fails the top, my stop was the 10s, just like Apple yesterday, and I get back and I add to it on the way back in, usually at ideally 96, 97 if you can. As I said, Tesla broke 238 just now. So that was that double barrel close price. It closed there yesterday-ish, and it closed there 2 days ago. So as it's breaking through, I'm looking for an out in front of 39, then I'm looking for something at the 40 level. And if it takes the stairs up, I'll continue looking for longs on Tesla. 16.5 is a big deal here on the NASDAQ. So there's no chance I got to have something long. Tesla's breaking out. I said I would get into Intel long, and I didn't. I suck. So hopefully Tesla can carry for the long side, because I should be long Intel, and I kind of missed the punch. Saying I would reverse, it's good enough to get out of the short and limit the damage on that refill, but I should have reversed into the long. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. There's Intel on some Mobileye strength.
I just honestly, man, we'll just raise this up right now. I'm like, I cannot believe when Peloton fell in there. Sharif, we're long Peloton at 620. Go check the chart there. It's like crazy that just came in. Why were we? I mean, first of all, I'm probably going to take long if it breaks higher again. So again, just using some of these closing prices from yesterday, 1680. I know that's why I talked to Sharif, because I know that he likes closing prices. 680, or sorry, 80s. 620 right there. I was trying to look at Apple here. 620 all the way up into 670. I mean, absolutely monster. That is right now, that's 40 cents, 45, 50 cents. So we just made an 8% move right there. on Peloton. So yeah, man, we will hit it for that
Follow.
for sure. All right, Apple right now. We should have got out some more lower, but we just got some there at 11s, so we'll wait on that one. And then it's PayPal that's trying to turn around on us a little bit here. It's a good thing we did get that out, something out anyways at 80. I only got out of 20%. So, we do have to wait for that. Rivian, yeah, you know what? That's another one.
Rivian.
So again, remember, some of these beat up names. What? I didn't even know Rivian broke 20 yesterday, to be honest with you.
I did know Rivian broke 20. So.
Oh, yeah, okay. So yeah, it just broke it at the end of the day there. Slipped down through and made that bottom. So again, it's kind of like that same breakout level. That's the closing price right here at 1950. So that could have also sparked traders into that long. So, all right, we may get into more long. We are going to get into more long. Peloton has been an absolute monster right now. We have to be able to watch this. The market's really starting to get going here. There goes Peloton. We're long now, probably a little too high, but we're long. Let's see what happens here with PTON Peloton taking out that daily level there of 675.
Yeah, I had 670 on the daily.
Yeah, probably better.
It's a distinction without a difference. If it gets to $7, it's a distinction without a difference. But it is a punch at the high of the day on a parabolic move. And remember, I say I always cancel my order when that happens, because if I'm punching the top of parabolic mover, I want to adjust. And two things I'm going to do is I'm going to take less. If it just goes straight away, I probably want twice as many shares. But because it's making that move, I'm hitting the high, I take half the amount, just because it's already run so far, right? So when you miss the move, it's different if you're long off support and you can load up in front of it. When you're taking a break,
what the hell?
you got to be careful. I want to get to Amazon very quickly here.
That's
Amazon,
nice.
Amazon just made a higher low.
There's Apple.
Still working to the downside, but the market is absolutely not rejecting, but it is chilling at that 16.5 level. If it rejects it, the shorts will look good. I got to watch out for Tesla. And as I said, Peloton, that breakout trade, well, it gets to $7. It's a distinction without a difference, that 5 pennies. But it looks like it wants that $7. And again, this is not an endorsement of Peloton. Remember, we're momentum trading. I just want to get that one out of the way. Like, we joke around about Peloton and talk about the catalyst and the upside and all that stuff. It's a trade. I'm not buying Peloton on my personal account or anything like that.
Oh, no. All these trades are not.
It's a pure explosive trade.
Yeah, and guys, I'll endorse Peloton for the trade as well, because this was, again, as it was written, man, buy dips on Peloton, take the break. I did not adjust any share sizes. So we're in here. I lost yesterday on some of these breaks, and we're just making sure that we're able to get this out right now, because we took a lot of shares there on that break of Peloton to the upside. And right now, let's go, let's spin it. What a great day this has been, despite we were short the market earlier. Come on, Peloton, let's get going to the upside. And again, man, this is that break that you're waiting for on the daily chart. I'll probably take a little bit of a different approach. I may buy some Peloton today because I like this break. We've seen it on Affirm when Affirm broke 20, and now you have a catalyst for Peloton. Let's see if that one wants to work. It's not working. It's working, but I thought it could have broken a little bit higher than that.
7.
You know what? Well, I hit the dollar club on you because for some reason, man, I have no idea what just happened to Apple there, and I just wanted people to know that we just tanked pretty good. It was cruising, and the market didn't do anything. The market just fading off of 16.5 right now. So Apple is everybody's favorite club. It's the dollar club, and I think it can get a lot more than that. So let's wait to see if that's happening. PayPal making the move back down in. I might just get out of some more Peloton here, as it's not really going to the upside anymore. So we'll capture some outs here. If we're wrong, we're wrong. But again, we really rode this all the way to the upside. I'm debating just getting out, man, if we come back into this level, 665 or so. On PTON, we'll get it out, because there is a chance we could be wrong here today on something other than the futures. PLTR also trying to capture some of this profit. I'm so obsessed with looking at all of my trades, but this is why I have my net up, because as it grows, or either way, up or down, I like to see where I'm at with some of these trades, because I do have decent amount of shares in many different positions. So, all right, here comes back in for Peloton. I got to get some more out here, as I don't want to turn, again, a great winning trade into a losing one, as it is fading back out a little bit here with PTON. PTON, my number one stock here today.
So a couple of things. One, I'm just going to get back into
on Palantir,
Tesla. You'll have seen it come out, but it didn't actually break the local bottom on that breakout trade. So it looks like a bit of a bad trigger. So I'm going to try to jump back in. I was just trying to get O's on Tesla, which is a bit greedy. I can probably just take 10s. It doesn't really matter if I get 10s. It's basically the same thing. 10 cents on on that for an entry is not going to matter. I'm looking for a dip in Intel for a buy, and I mentioned Amazon taking some out there. If it falls further, this is a target that I like at the 145, but it just held up a higher low at 145.50. So the short's been working, but you can see the upward trend. And when fighting that trend, want to make sure you're being at least a little bit reasonable with it. So that's what I want to do over here in Amazon. I did take out Apple. PayPal is still working, but it's doing the similar thing that, like, okay, bull flag or whatever you guys want to call it. It's still doing the same thing that Amazon is doing, where it's holding those higher lows. If it can break down, it's going to just drop this bid a little bit further. Maybe down into the actually at 70, because I think you have a chance to get into VWAP. It's actually accelerating a little bit here. I just saw that on the tape. So I'll give it a chance to get into the 70s. I like the fact that it just broke that local support to the downside, but it's still in an upward trend. So these ones are okay. Palantir is starting to go, but I'd like to see like the 70s. If this was a short to 25, it needs to get down to the 70s at least. And we have not talked. This is the first day this week that we've gone 30 minutes. Well, the entire open without talking about crypto, or, well, okay, fine, like a crypto name. Mara is about to go 10% to the downside, and this should be on the radar. I actually like this I like the short if it got to $30, because 30 was an obvious level. I feel like this could move all the way into the bottom if the market were to reverse and if we had a big pull on crypto. Everyone's expecting a big announcement.
We have a number.
But let's get to the Adair. We have a number.
We do have some numbers, including ISM Services PMI coming in at 50.6. Previous was 52.7. Forecast was 52.8. So we came in lower than expected here by about 2. We also have factory orders month over month coming in at 2.6%, so higher than the forecasted 1.8%. And the previous of negative 3.4%. So the two main numbers here, guys. Market reacting, getting a bit of a push to the upside off of these numbers here. We're green on the day. If you can look here on the daily chart, we have had a little bit of weakness, as we know, in the SPY. Definitely a nice move to the upside here, especially off this news, getting a bit more of a push. In terms of individual stocks moving, AMD up 2%, getting a price target increase from Mizuho. Good name for chips as well, because Marvell also up almost 3%, getting another boost off of the number here. No specific news that I'm seeing on this, but general chip strength, and Marvell getting quite a few mentions on social media as well. So good day for MRVL. Brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a virtual funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the gains. The program has simple rules and 100% payout record. Go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
They are really liking that number there, everybody. So yeah, nice little move up to the upside here for the market. I was going to average. Oh, I did average into PayPal. Okay, good. I was like, I feel like I was going to want to average into PayPal, so we did do that. But look at this move to the upside, man. It is like taking names right now. So watch out, man. 59.25 or so, a break there for PayPal, and we're going to get out. I mean, it just ripped up to the upside. We got out of 40%. So right as that number came out, we were sitting at these levels. You got to sit at levels, man. So right when that number came out, we were at the bottom of that, not of the day, but of this move. So we got a couple 80 fills. So we're able to absorb this a little bit. Now we're short at 59.12. 59.11 right now. We'll put some bids out, but this is getting close to being stopped out. So there it is.
I guess I just got stopped.
Yeah, so it's right here right now. So this is, again, couple more pennies and I'll be stopped out, and it's right here, 59.25. Looks like it wants to break it, PayPal. So again, downgraded, doesn't look like that when you look at this stock today. Up 1.3% is PayPal. Downgrade, nope. Doesn't look like it wants to care about that one, as there it goes, ripping to the high side. There goes PayPal, taking out that 59.25, and we'll have an L on that one today. So 2 red stocks for me today. It's going to be the NASDAQ, which, yeah, man, we were pretty wrong about that. That just kept on going upside, and good thing we got out. So that's going to be a fail there. And then PayPal, we tried it. I'm going to try one more time here, thinking that might have just been exhausted a little bit there to that top side. 59.50 now. Again, it got downgraded. So, like, what the hell? Something's going to have to come through right now for this stock. It's PayPal. I'll take it one more try, see if they come in and sell this a little bit. PayPal, trying one more time.
So I was asked, someone said, how are you not long AMD? My answer is because I wanted the long in Intel, preferably above 47. No, I didn't get it. I already slapped the fail on myself for not reversing into this stock. I only have Peloton and Palantir. No, I just got out of PayPal when it broke that 59.16 from 2 days ago, but I want Intel long. It was already breaking to the downside when the market was up, and then Mobileye reversed, and then it reversed to a big level. Above 47, I'm looking long. I'm now looking long in front of the quarters. It's at 47.5. This could see 48 today. It could, the way this market's reversing, this could easily even see, okay, I don't want to say like 48.5. It could see 48. That's reasonable enough. So there's room for a dip buy in this stock. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Apple is bouncing off 182. Like, I like the fact that we bounced off 180 on Apple. That was the level I liked. I think I anchored myself to that level, thinking that's where the long had to be instead of just the opening range bottom. So the question I'm asking myself in real time is, where do I want this to the long side after it's bounced pre-market off 180? The short worked, but I took it out at VWAP. It held the opening range bottom. If it can make a higher low here and maybe set something up, breaking out the top, that could be a setup. But it's Intel that I want to buy on the next dip as we go back to the desk with Adara.
Just keep an eye on this one, kind of interesting here. Global Star, GSAT is the ticker here on the Amex, actually making new 52-week highs. Not seeing any news on this one, and the market cap is about $3 billion, so fairly significant. Just keep an eye on GSAT making a big move to the upside.
GSAT?
GSAT? Yeah, GSAT used to be a pink sheet name, I remember, for a minute.
Yep.
Okay, so, things that make you go, Oh, my most recent position, yeah, Peloton is rocking right now. I mean, what a good trade this Peloton one was. Like we said, I hope it doesn't go too far up because I do want to buy some of this, like I was mentioning there in my own personal, but it's getting a little bit of a move up today. Up 13% might not be the right time to buy. But there it goes, man. Peloton just ripping. And, you know, we'll talk about, well, we won't today. We don't have a market recap show, but we have the sticky note review. And I mean, there it is right there, Peloton breakthrough 675. So if we like the long at 675, then we definitely like it at 620. We have the absolute bottom of the day on Peloton. Like, this is NFT worthy in my opinion. You take that picture, boom, then you take the break high as well. So we really enjoyed that trade on PTON. Not enjoying the trade on PayPal, though, as this seems to want to go only one way and not the right way. So let's watch out here for PayPal as on a downgrade, sorry, it's acting like it was upgraded. So nice move, but let's see how long it lasts here for PayPal. I'm giving it to 59.50. That's how long. Palantir has sort of retraced back to the upside.
The guy at 10s.
Well, is there? Okay,
Yeah.
Because I did get that short. Okay, I was wondering if I got it because I still feel like I could take some more shares.
There's
here.
an order at 10s. That's how I should say it.
Yeah, I see that on EdgeX there. So there it is right there. But again, 20 million shares. It's not going to matter too much. I'm still using that. We were so close to getting stopped out there at 15s, man. The highest it went to before was 12. So let's just like hit that with, oops, I don't know why that zoomed down there. So let's just hit that level if we're wrong. And this way, we'll actually be okay with it. So let's wait on that.
So I mentioned AMD and then said I prefer Intel and then didn't show you guys what's going on with AMD and why.
What happened to PayPal?
Why people are saying you should be long. I know why you're saying I should be long because the levels I was showing yesterday on AMD, did it hold above it? Did it break them out? Yes, they did. I just liked Intel 47 better today. It is how it is. I went through in the midday the process, and in the process you prioritize. So I liked Intel 47 better than AMD, and quite frankly, at the open, it never really gave you a chance. You had to be long that one in the pre-market off the levels that I liked. So 140 is going to come into play in about, I don't know, at this rate, 2 minutes. On AMD, it is a big level.
140?
Yeah. It's been a good long. Don't have it. 140 is a big level. If it gets up there and we're squeezing into this high on the NASDAQ, there we go. So yesterday's kind of like double top, 16.6. But that's a scalp trade zone that I would like. And if you get a 140 at the same time, that's a trade that you put on against the grain. No, I'm good actually.
Randy.
I have the heater. I have a heater there, so.
Oh yeah, I got to get that heater going
Thank
too.
you. Shout out to Obi. He got me like I guess it's like a coffee mug heater.
I just got to find. I don't know where to plug mine in.
Pretty good. I don't like drinking cold coffee. If it gets cold, I kind of just throw it out, which is highly inefficient. Back to Peloton, because I'm only in the two positions.
Look at Peloton, guys.
And PTON is now through that $7 level. I think you can see quarters. So this is also the 200-period moving average. But if you go right back into here, that's 750 last time. It's kind of hard to see. And then this is 725. So those are the next two levels up, 725 and 750. I'd be all out in front of that 750 level. But this is absolutely flying. I just like the 670 break. So that's the only trade that I have on, which was that big level on the daily chart. So we went long through there. I think we're going to see the 25 and the 50. If it gets to 75, I'm probably out looking for the next one. So as the market is now absolutely ripping, I said I wanted an Apple setup for a long. Maybe you can hold VWAP in here, and that gives me a potential entry. But it's still putting in lower highs on Apple. So I'm not completely at that point yet.
I mean, this Peloton trade is a 20% winner almost, right? I mean, it's not quite going to be that high. It's going to be about 16, 17% for those of you that, this is why we don't really talk, you're never going to hear us talk about that really, because it doesn't, for us, we don't really look at it, but some of you sometimes are asking like, hey, like, you know, what's your return on that trade or whatever. So right there, you guys can see hopefully a little bit of what's good right there with Peloton. So that's a 620 bottom. I can't believe when I got it, I was nervous. I was out of like a third of it as we approached 30 cents, which was absolutely insane. As I say, I'm going to try to hold things a little bit longer, and then, but anyways, we're still in it. And then we also have that break. And then just for what you guys are talking about, we only had on here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names right now, and Apple's going to be my number one trade today. Is going to be Peloton, just net wise, of course. And then right now, Palantir should be at disposition pending, and then Apple. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 for 3. It's PayPal right now that is questionable. But again, getting short 59, I should have just followed my own rules and just stopped shorting it once it broke 59, and then we would have been in a little bit of a better, more comfortable position than we are on this name right now. So it's up to 59.50. We just shorted it. We just took a fill at 40s. I still think it can fall down in, but I guess that downgrade wasn't so successful for whoever did it there today. So Apple,
Or it was.
Yeah, or it was, and they got long. Yeah, that could have been what it
look,
is.
I don't mean to be that guy.
No, but that is what happens.
But like, okay, it triple topped. Can we come to the PayPal chart? It has to be said, right? This thing triple topped at a huge resistance level and the 200 period moving average, and then pulled back with the market in this last little bit, right into what would be technically some support. And then you get the downgrade slapped on. It looks like a great short into that level, and you get some exit liquidity. That's a great trade for somebody. Whatever, it is what it is. So I think that's that kind of stuff. Every now and then, it's smart if you can do that, because technically it's good. And there was something in the chat. Someone just said they saw a good short on Warren Buffett saying technical analysis garbage. He's a value investor. I would hope he doesn't believe in that, because that is not what he does. When you're day trading, I happen to think it has a lot of value day trading, because that's how we make our living. So you got to stay in your own lane, man. Like, why would Warren Buffett, with all of his success, jump out of his lane? That wouldn't make any sense in the world. He'd be a fool to do so. So I actually respect him for saying that, because I'd actually respect him less if he believed in things that were against his core. But anyway, so PayPal, I'm out of it. Reversing to long would have been good, but I wasn't looking for that. Going to go back over to Intel, because this is now getting ridiculous. It's finally starting to pull back a little bit. Like, I guess, like 47.60 should have been a reverse here at like 15s and 20s. I'm still on the bid in the 30s. I'd like to get along in front of 47.25. That's if the stock even wants to let me get along. And then AMD, we talked about 140. I say that with a chuckle. I said it would be there in like 5 minutes. Well, it's about 40 cents away. So the 140 level is coming into play. We're about 20 handles away from yesterday's high on the NASDAQ. So you're going to get a top at a key level on an individual name, and you're going to get a bit of a resistance point on the futures at the exact same time. Tai asking me about Unity. You know, it's interesting. Didn't look at...
It's probably up huge.
Yeah,
man.
Unity and Affirm today. We've been looking at them every single day, and I didn't really have anything that I loved on it. I guess my bias was to the short side, which is... Yeah, it didn't break the bottom. Now it's taking out the top when the market's flying. I think I'll stay away from this unless it maybe pops ridiculously to 40. I don't like the long. It obviously is a rebound play with a bit of a short float and probably has room to 40, but I haven't done the work on this, and I've been looking for short setups on this stock. So, it is what it is.
Make sure tonight. I was going to say, we're filming a podcast. It should be a good one. We're filming it tonight. You make sure you check it out tomorrow. We do have, oh, look at the shirt. We do have a podcast tonight. So make sure that you do watch out for that one there. And it should be another good one.
Imagine you wore the same shirt.
When I saw Michael Noss, yeah, maybe
that was a new shirt.
Maybe this should be my podcast shirt. Yeah, maybe you're right.
We've never seen that one.
Just real quick there, Mitch. Make sure you find that tomorrow. It'll be on all your podcasting stations and all that stuff. All right, the market's or PayPal at least just got excited. So we just got, I mean, again, we took some outs, but stopped out of that one. So PayPal today, I mean, I don't know what else to do. It's a fail. I still want to short this though. I still want to short it. Look at the market barcoding here. I still like the short. I still like the short. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try to 58 here. The thing is like, see, I told you, this is when I start to get all messed up because like I really, you know, having conviction on something that's not working is not good. So we'll just take out on that high. And it looks like it's going right back, 65s. I'm not using.
I just got out of Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir just broke 10s, right? So yeah, here comes Palantir. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like I still like the short, but like at some point, it's just not going to be worth fighting any of this because the long, and our net is completely fine. It's just like things are just come back up. You know, like that's why like we've already shorted here. We're not shorting now. We've already broken higher. As the market tries to figure it out, a lot of these names right now that have been aggressive to the upside today, I feel like are just, maybe it seems like anyways, starting to get ramped right now and possible for a move higher there. We were able to hold out on that Apple. I was, again, it was so stupid. I should have shorted at 50. That's, you know, I debated that. I didn't go over to it. I should have. We did not short more Apple there at 50. I was waiting. I have the order right now. It's at 70 now, not 75. So if that comes in, great. And then I just said the high of PayPal today is 59.64. So we break that, we're out. One more try here on PayPal. Let's see if we can get it to work.
So a couple of things. Well, I guess, yeah, you already said. I got out of Peloton at that 10 level. There was a size there, but I was getting out regardless of that guy that was there at 16.10. That order that was there at 16.10. But I got filled at 11s on the way out. Peloton's the only position left. Sometimes this happens like after 10 o'clock. It's like, well, what's left? It's usually what's still working for me. And Peloton, it is a long that's worked. It's been one of those like seesaw kind of days. For every trade good, there's a bad one in there. But adhering to the stop is the best you can do. There were a lot of short setups that came in. Peloton just wicked this high, and there was a bit of a, what's the best way to put it? When it bounced off of $7 just now, it came back up to $7.10, and there was like a refresher at $7.10. So I was intending on the next out to be in front of $7.25, and then when I saw that, it's like, okay, we'll take something here as it starts to pull back in. So I just took it out in Peloton. I just wanted to explain it. And when it bounced off 7 even, that's bullish to me. And when the seller comes in at a lower high, it's like, okay, we'll take something out because it could be doing a reversal setup there. On PTON, I wanted to go from PTON to AMD, which is now wicked 140. So there it is. AMD got to 140. It actually broke and got to 05s. What's with that wick? Let's zoom in. Forget about it. 140.05, and it just pulled back. So wait for it to make that move. Get the short. I would love to have gotten this maybe like the 80s or so, but I am now short on AMD off of that high. VWAP retrace at the absolute maximum here for me because it's a rocket ship. And then this last top at 139.33.
Yes, sir.
That's where I want to get some out in front. So AMD's a rocket, but I am shorting off 140.
Bring Sean and Neil back, says Francisco. Hey, it's us. What the hell?
Hey, why is so? Shouldn't I? It's a Powell pivot. I feel like
the Powell pivot.
So shouldn't that be like LeBron or somebody?
What, is he flopping?
No, that was like but he like I don't know. When he pivots, he travels all the time. It's like
right, and he flops all the time.
But why are we? That's
by the way.
I know, like, what's that guy's name?
Buddy Hield?
Sabonis. It's Sabonis.
Sabonis. Okay, I didn't notice. Guys, spin it.
Sabonis.
I know Neil took that out at 10s. You got to be careful. I was very lucky again, man. Back-to-back lucky spots there for Palantir. It's now a huge trade. So let's go, man. Palantir, ring it. And then, like I said again for you guys, Apple right now back into the dollar club. There it goes, right to the downside. We did take something out at VWAP. We got to do it. Look at this market fading out, man. Believe in your trades and honor your stops. That's like sometimes it's just like I'm looking here at Palantir. My stop was at 15. It got again to 12s. You know, I was so not certain about this, I did not reload it, obviously. I reloaded it once and twice, but then, well, I guess we reloaded a lot, but I didn't take it there because we were nervous about it. Look at PayPal. This was the reload, and again, we are not, like, if this tags, I'm going to hold the rest of it. I'm out of half now. So it just fell back in, and we took about 15 cents. So our best fill, I think, is a 42. Most of them there at, okay, we got a 36 actually fill there. We got a 40 and a 36 and a 44. So I guess our average fill was around here, 42, 43. So we'll take on the back end of this 15 cents. But just trying to get positive on it means we're going to have to get back to 59 because we've just taken too many hits. So now we only have half left, and my bids now for PayPal are not even existing. So I got to put some out. So let's put some out right now. That's 59.20. You see, I just want you guys to see like kind of the stuff that I'm looking at. So that 59.20 level could be something there again for PayPal. So right there, 59.20, that little drop spot, we'll hit that, and then we'll see if we can hit 59.10s or so. But that's what I'm looking for right now on PayPal, is a little bit of a lower move. So let me put those bids out right now. 59.20, we'll put a decent amount there. We'll put about 20% of what we have left, and then about 15% of what we have left a little bit lower to see if we can make some magic happen. Palantir is making it happen as well, right back down into VWAP. So if Neil, are you sure? Yeah, you're sure. Okay, good. The AMD is probably working. What I was going to say.
No, it's right back up to AMD.
Oh, it's strong. Right. AMD strong. Okay. What?
I like the long in Intel though. I went long Intel.
Yeah, I was just going to say the shorts, this might be your chance because it's been a monster move up and you're just now trying to get back to 16,500. So maybe try to buy some of these shares back if you've gotten lucky and short at the top there.
Yeah, and shout out to look, Hampton's Trader. I make that top wick all the time, man. I've been there. Like I think he was saying he went long on the AMD 140. You gotta consider the fact that sometimes you go long there and it stops you out for like 20 or 30 cents. You take that. But when AMD breaks 140 and you get 41, 42, 43, just remember, you can go $4 and have an average out of $2 on a trade like that. That's a great risk to reward ratio. There's nothing, you just got to make your trade. And as long as what you have a positive expectancy on you do over and over again, then don't worry about the fact that that breakout happened to lose today. Because how many times in the last 2 months have we seen AMD make that same break and the short, just you go short, it instantly stops out. So I did scalp some out of AMD. I'm getting the rest out in front of 138.50. Wow, and as mentioned, I'm long on Intel here on that dip. So I said 48.25. If it dips in there, I want to go for the long. I grabbed 31s. I've already got some out into the 50s. I'll hold some for the high of the day, and if it breaks, we've got the trend to the upside.
Before we go to Adair, I just want to touch on what you said there as well, because my biggest losses this week were both the exact same trade as what Neil was just explaining there. I got smoked buying the top in AMD. I think it was 140, to be honest with you. I have to look back. And then we bought the top. I think it was 376 on Microsoft, whatever it was. Both times, we got accelerated to the upside and eventually got punched in the face with that kind of a trade. So I agree, man. The breaks have been great, which is why we both like them. But I just know for myself, the last couple times, it also hasn't worked. So I just wanted to say that.
The crazy thing is it might, so anyways, I'm not reloading the short in front of AMD at 140.
But where is AMD anyways?
Like it just dipped in, went about, it pulled back 80 to 90 cents. I only captured 50 of it because my short's in the 70s. But it just, if it gets back to the high, this can still break out the top and be a good long. Sometimes the second break is better than the first. Really, when you're talking about a stock. I just prefer when it's already gone this parabolic to go for dip buys. They're a little bit easier to manage risk to reward because at least I know where I can find an out a little bit more easily when I'm buying dips in a trend. And obviously, like I said, I have no issues slapping the fail on not reversing Intel. I said I like the reverse on Intel if it broke out the local high after the 57 hold. So I was short, I got out, I didn't reverse long. I don't get it till like 20-something cents later, which is a bit of a fail because I like taking the stairs to the upside. If you can take the stairs to the upside, it's a nice and easy path. There was something I wanted to get to. Oh yeah, PTON. Someone asked time to short Peloton.
It was Nimit.
Oh, was it Nimit?
Yep.
I don't know, man. So the thing about a breakout that's that big on a daily chart, it's a little too far. When it's that big of a move on the daily chart, I want to give it back to that 670. Like I've already made the scalp trade. I think I just want to hold it back into 670. If it's going to fail the initial breakout, fair enough. But as far as I'm concerned, this has room to 25 and then 50. You could even set up a second long at some point, which hasn't happened just yet. But it's 10:20, which means it's time for the small cap recap. Let's go.
Quite a few runners today. Very big day for small caps. Among the runners is Inogen. INGN is the ticker for this one. up about 13 and a bit % here after Citron Research posted a report saying they basically believe that INGN would be a good buyout candidate potentially heading into 2024. So keep an eye on this one, continuing to move to the high side. We also have SGD. I mentioned this one earlier, Safe and Green Development, yesterday announcing an update on their letter of intent for acquisition of Zine Real Estate. The acquisition has been approved, so keep an eye on this name as well, up 63%. Last but not least, Nexamune moving again, NEXI. No news on this one, but a float of under 800,000, so very low float. Also moving at up 200+% year to date. So only been a week so far, but really strong day and week for Nexamune, up 25% right now, guys.
Oh, man.
5.
There's so many different. Oh, Sean. Yeah, so right now. Shit. All right, let's go, man. We're going to start ringing a little bit more registers right now because you know what? That's what we do. So let's do this. 50 cents in the money on Tesla. Forgot to talk about this one, guys, because I didn't think I was going to get the Phil. But here we go. Shout out to Phil again. Okay, so this move so far so good, man. We like it. We like it a lot. I was just trying to fade it off 240. Again, I can't live with myself if I stop taking, because like as we review, and again, man, the best for me. Look, I have a lot of fun. I just. When I say that the most fun show for me, and I feel like with Lunch Money, when you go on as well, we're very, you know, when you're not in position and things like that, you know, I tend to have a little bit more fun
you're doing
sometimes.
one thing instead of two.
Yeah, and so that's
actually
a good call, right? So join me on the market recap show every day. But we're starting to review the sticky note, and it's like every day I'm looking at these, I'm like, Yep, that's good. Well, didn't take that. Why didn't I? So right now we'll short Tesla, and if I'm going to be wrong on something like that PayPal, fine. We will own it. We talk about that all the time. I tweet out my losing trades. I tweet out my winning trades, and we tweet out these ideas. I mean, I made these ideas between 7:30 and 8:30 before that number came out. That's when we wrote the sticky note. So you know, sometimes some of the levels can be slightly off if you have economic numbers. But I'm pretty happy so far here today. The only trade that, again, I should have just left for dead was PayPal. The minute PayPal broke 59, this is the one for me. It'll be the only red, well, that and the TQs, but the TQs we took early, and we should probably, I thought the market was going to fall and it didn't, so we own that as well. But the other thing is that this and the TQs are going to be the only two red names that I have today, and part of that is, honestly, it's just trying to be disciplined and trying to be patient. The thing that you always have to work on is share sizing and things like that, right? I mean, Peloton was a huge trade, and you haven't seen Peloton on this sticky note in probably a year, honestly, and it's because, again, catalyst. It's people always ask us, and I know you are going on the midday show, I think, today as well, right? So the thing about all of that is like, you know, at some point, you got to start to have your preparation and believing in it, and what makes your preparation. Why do you trade certain things? Is there certain levels you're looking at? So on and so forth. So, you know, those are the things that you got to look at, and I'm just tired of not honoring my own thing. So, you know, we'll be sitting there and looking to trade more and more, obviously, off the sticky note, and I just want to thank everybody for continuously reminding me of that. So, it's PayPal is my big hit. We should have been off of it a long time ago.
Yeah, PayPal is a frustrating one. Like I always say, the best thing you can do when you're wrong is just kind of get out. Like, you know, like you can always look back and say you should have gone the other direction. But there's two types. Like either you wanted to do it or you didn't want to do it. And if you weren't looking to go long on the stock through a key level, then you're not going to do it. I'm just a couple of things. Fresh high on Intel. I just took some out in front of it to give an idea where I think this can go. It's 47 to, creatively enough, I think I already said this, 48. Because it's 48. But the last time it traded at this level was 3 days ago, and there was a local top at 48.50. So when taking the stairs up on Intel, I don't think looking for longs is done. If it pulls back, I'm looking for higher lows to buy the dips, possibly underneath 47.5. Ideally, it breaks out this top, gets to like 75 or so, and then pulls back and gives me a much better re-entry. Sometimes I would rather buy at a higher price because it's a stronger move if it puts in a higher low at a better price like that. So that's the case for Intel. AMD, I said I would not reload it. Maybe shouldn't have listened to that. There was a reload opportunity on AMD right in here. It wicked a lower high and could have had 139.80 or so in front of that high. But I don't like the fact that it's looking relatively strong. Like exactly what I'm talking about on Intel, where it's stair-stepping the upside. That's what AMD is doing right now. So I don't like the notion of reloading this level. I'll probably just get out if it takes out the high and then think about what to do next, which I'm not actually even sure. I know what I want to do with Intel, but I'm not sure about AMD, whether I want to go long that as well. Peloton, the pullback got to 85s. It's trying to put in a higher low. I'd prefer this hold $7. I think that would be very strong if it were to do that. And shout out to Darwin and everybody that is posting about Moderna. mRNA. Oddly enough, what's weird is like, I'm glad this didn't go to 105 today on the dip, because I talked about preparation, and when I put a level in there, and sometimes I have only one number on it, I don't look at that stock unless it gets to that level. Well, I put 105 for Moderna. I'm like, well, if it happens to dip into yesterday's low, I think it should be a screaming long, because of I think the trend is to the up. It's a huge trend reversal that I think can go parabolic on any given day. And if it pulled back into 106.5, I wouldn't have gotten it. I never started along that early, and it could be taking out the highs. If it turns off of 116, I'd love this to pull back into like 112.50 or 113, somewhere where I can grab along. Up 5.5%. I'm happy about it. I just sold some shares. I still have 70% of my Lilly position, but I sold another 10% of it to buy some Moderna as a shot play. I think this is one of those stocks that could go like 500 or zero. So I wanted to take a shot at it at some point. I'm like, then if I think that, why am I carrying about $10 on it?
That's the thing, yeah.
Which I do a lot of, by the way.
I like Moderna.
I just think if mRNA technology has the potential impacts
it does have that
on cancer, then the long run for this stock is like parabolic, or there's not as much there as people think, and it could be a $20 stock. So I'll take that shot. But that's Moderna. I still like the Intel long. Play the trend till it bends. The market's at the high of the day, or close to the highs of the day right now as we go to Adara.
Interesting crypto-related story coming out of the UK right now, actually. UK introducing new rules for crypto investors to follow. So crypto firms, including Coinbase, Crypto.com, Gemini, any exchange operating in the UK now has users fill out a questionnaire. This is going to be effective as of January 8th to make sure that they know what they're getting into with regards to the risk of crypto investing. So interesting story here being reported this morning, CNBC, out of the UK with crypto. In terms of Bitcoin itself, not doing too much. We're more or less flat right now on the day. This is the 15-minute chart here. Not too much movement happening. We did have quite the volatile week for crypto, or sorry, Bitcoin specifically, going into 2024. Big move up and then a big move down on Tuesday and Wednesday. So right now, not too much excitement coming off a pretty eventful week for Bitcoin. As you can see here, Bitcoin just slightly lower now, around 43,650. Ethereum done a bit more below that 2250 area. Pretty much every name, though, here in the red. Notably, Solana down below 100, down 6% right now. Cardano down about 8%, guys.
Cardano down 8%. I never want to hear that again. But that's what, you know, just joking aside there. I mean, you have to take your ebbs and your flows with some of those altcoins. I mean, they're just going to move by themselves sometimes. And although Bitcoin's still at 4370, 43,700, other names like Amara continue to work a little bit better today, up
It's
to
down.
20.
Well,
Is it down today?
yeah, but look,
it's
look
down.
at 25.
I saw, that's right. I thought we were, yeah, I thought, oh, yesterday. Oh, okay. So I saw the price 25 and I thought that was way up, but we had a huge move yesterday, up to 26, 27. Okay. So, yeah, I guess not up. My bad on that one. But yeah, 25 right now looks to be a break spot, right there right now. So that could be something for sure, as we look out for, Mara. And then Coinbase, it's still, man, I mean, we were talking about shorts up there at 180, 190. And of course, Neil and I, we've already talked about it. We're sitting here on a prop floor. So it is a little difficult sometimes for us to hold overnight because we're not allowed. But that was a huge move back in. And I'm thinking these bottom wicks, man, I mean, until we get news about the Bitcoin ETFs, you know,
Okay. Maybe.
Today, maybe, yeah. We had that leak yesterday that people thought it could come out today. Like I said, I thought we were supposed to hear about this on the 10th, but we'll wait. If something comes out, I think you have to have Coinbase, Mara, BTC, and all that active. And I have like a running ticker at all times. If I could put it somewhere for everybody to see, I mean, I could maybe keep it. I mean, I could keep it down there. That's not bad. Maybe I'll just keep it there because that doesn't bother me if it's down there. You guys want it there? I don't know. Then you can always see whenever it goes to me. At least you'll have. Yeah, okay. So Fabian really, really likes it. So there it is again, man. We're always trying to change it up for you. And that's what it is here. Let's do the hot dog gun there because maybe we just figured something out that you guys might like.
We used to have that stuff up all the time.
Up all the time. So I'll just do it now. Why not?
I actually loved it when we would just show rolling what some of the indices were at. Like we'd show like the
all right, they like it.
NASDAQ, BTC, all that kind of stuff. The market just wicked the high again. NVIDIA 490 just broke. AMD, I said I wouldn't reload it off the 140 level. It just broke high of the day. Well, okay, it wicked the high of the day, but I'm like, I'm not reloading it. We took the scalp trade for 50 cents. We'll take a 25-cent hit on the way back in there to maintain being positive. We're going against the grain, going to have rules against the grain, so that when that happens, you don't just fight it the entire way. It's still trying to battle that level, but that does mean it's arrows up on Intel. So this one continued to go. I forgot to check out ARM, but it did get to that 75. Like I said, I think this can get to 80, and I'm now looking for a place to go back into the long. So it got to 75. If it can pull back into that 50 area, maybe give a long off that 50, show me a lower high, some buyers stepping in there, whether it's like 45 or 47 or 51, wherever it might be. That's what I'm looking for next. Chips are strong. Peloton continues to work as it bounced. It's trying to get to the high of the day here. So I'm just going to adjust something. I don't like the notion of having an order. Like if it breaks the high of the day, why have an order right in front of it just because that's 720? It doesn't make any sense. If it breaks that high, we'll let it go like 10, 15 cents or something like that. So if it fails here, look for an exit. I'll probably take some out at 7s on the way back in, and we can start looking for a dip by, it looks like 85 right now. I suppose if it puts VWAP in, that means it's making a channel to the downside. Zero gravity, saving me the time and saying ARM has been sideways pretty much all morning. So appreciate you. That's why you're the best community in the world. We're on the right names. I'm looking at Intel and AMD, and you guys are saying NVIDIA is strong, and I'm not going to waste my time even calling up ARM because he said that. And because I think we're the best community in the world, I'm going to remind everybody to
like, subscribe, and share the show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
And we do it with Sharif because in about 25 minutes or so, we'll be heading on over. You're going to be learning to trade some news today. Like how to trade news, how to look for news, scan for news, interpret it, all that good stuff because things happen in the middle of the day. Look at Marvell yesterday. I'll join in at 12, talk about actually trading flash news and how to sort of react to something which happens off the cuff. It's one thing to plan for it when you read the news overnight. It's another thing when the news happens at like 12 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're not going anywhere. We'll be here all day long. It just flips on over to the second stream, which of course is Learn to Trade. We're back at 2 o'clock, and then we have the market recap after 4 o'clock. We're an all-day service. That's how we roll, and we can always go to the desk for more.
Yeah, Inovio here, small cap, penny stock actually getting a bit of a pop at midday. We had some catalysts on this one yesterday, JMP Securities initiating coverage with the market outperforming a price target of $1. Inovio also announced yesterday that they're collaborating with Coherus Biosciences for the development of a treatment. So keep an eye on INO and the NQ, guys.
All right. There's so many names to keep track of. All right.
Shout out to Adara for saying it was on the NASDAQ.
Yes. Thank you, Adara, for that one. So it's only 10:36. I feel like today's show is going actually a little bit slow for some reason. I don't know. That seems like that to me, doesn't it? I don't know.
It's whenever there's an 8:30 number. Because because on an 8:30 day, we start trading more heavily at the open. You take a couple positions because we had the number, but usually we're not in heavily positions until 9:30. At least that's my sense of it. You feel like you've worked a little bit more because you've been executing for a longer time.
Yeah, that might make sense. All right, 240.50. So, I just want to say we are now into a position here on Tesla, and I was going to just make sure that we have the right amount of shares and the right price and all that kind of stuff. So I like to get a little bit more here. We're up to 240. The market's taking it out right now, but we're in some shares now. It's not a huge hit. I want to give this to 240.50. So if we break above 240.50, then we're going to get out. I'm just making sure that all my stops are appropriate for this trade. So there it is. For those of you that ask, like, hey, Do we trade with programs or anything like that? No, we don't. I just trade with stop orders. So those are just automatically filled and things like that. When the market breaks through key levels, I'll get stopped out or whatever the move is on that particular name and that particular symbol. So right now, there we are. We're reloaded and we're loaded up a little bit here with Tesla. So let's see if it gets back into the 50s. That would be really nice if that was the case down there, but it looks like it's trying to go a little bit higher here. That's Tesla 239. 50 will put out a little bit to get that fill if it does go, but for right now, I got Tesla on my mind, and it's a short. We're in the money. Well, we're flat actually right now. Short at 80s here on Tesla. Let's see if it just pulls down a little bit. We wrote down 240. We like the short. We're short 239.78. Good enough for me. Let's see what happens here for Tesla. Let's give it a little bit of space. Again, the trade has to be a little bit quicker than I had hoped because it's really upside now. And we are, you know, the 50-period moving average where I think we can pull back into is only $1 of a win. So let's try to scalp a little bit out here. Let's get a little bit lighter on this. And then hopefully this will fill up and then we won't be too nervous if it does break above that 240. But right now we're short. It's Tesla.
And it's 10:39, and now Peloton is back at the high of the day. So like Peloton took no time to get back to the high. What time was that bottom? Like 9:35. So it got to the high. Come my chart for a second. I just want to demonstrate this for a second. Peloton took no time to get to the previous high when it dipped, and then since this dip off of this high, it's been grinding slowly. It just struggled. I had my finger on the trigger that if it failed that break, immediately I was just going to take some out, but now I think it's starting to churn again. So I want to look for like something in the 30s where I would anticipate this last little break makes a bit of a turn. We think 750 is a big deal, 775 as well on Peloton. So it continues to work to the upside. Intel didn't really give what I was looking for the dip buy never happened. So I'm still in Intel, but I was looking for a place to add to it when it was retesting its high. I thought it could do something down in the 45 to 50 area, but that dip hasn't happened. So it is what it is. Right now, we'll power it up for the longs. It's that kind of a day. I'm going to revisit this. You've got to be able to look at some of these things, and like it's one thing to have a plan of action, and then it's another thing to sort of execute it. Apple, as the market's breaking the high, has not gotten back into the high of the day.
Let's go Tesla.
Well, Apple is definitely a little bit weak off of this lower high. I don't know if it gets back into that top. It looks as if this is running out of steam. 180 was a level to go long off of. Now it's just kind of barcoding.
All right, there it is again, guys. Let's go. One more time. Bang. There goes Tesla to the downside. So there it is, man. We talked about it. There we go. We got some 46s. Yes, sir. Good trade there for TSLA. Hopefully that will fade out again. And it's another one. It's another one of these guys right here. Where's my sticky note? There it is. It's another one. So there it is, man. 70 cents on a pullback. We'll take it. Falling back in just a little bit. Tesla will rip up to near the top of my board one more time here today. So yeah, good trade. We're now at about 1-to-1 on the risk to reward. So we'll put another bid out here in the 30s, and then we'll wait to see if it falls down. We want to be short something here in case this market does fall on its face, but we're already out. I got out of a third of Tesla already, just for those of you playing along at home. Palantir, whatever, man. I mean, honestly, I'm almost tired of talking about it. I'm not really, but the thing is like, it's not moving. Look at the barcode action. So we'll take a fill at 97, and we'll sit on an ARCA or BATS or whatever I bid there to see if we can get some rebates on this trade, just because it's not moving. So we'll just wait if we can do that. Oh, new position alert.
Oh, shoot.
It's A to the F to the R to the M. It's a firm right now. So, yeah, it's a nice move higher here. We don't have any bids out. Let's put some out right now on a firm. We're just short here at 85. Maybe we can come back into the 70s. That'll be pretty nice if that's the case now for a firm. I have to be very, very careful because short Palantir, short Tesla, short a firm, short PayPal. Like, I'm short everything, short Apple. Like, our net is positive. We'll end the day right now, obviously, with a positive net. But let's just wait to see what's going to happen here. Tesla, finally, again, we've already gotten some fills. I am bidding 30s. We talked about that. If we can get a bid down there at 30. But I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about this. And honestly, this is my world, so we'll do what we want. We'll bid in some more at 50. There it is. We'll take another piece out. And now I'm just going to cancel the 34. I did have a 34 fill there. We just took a bid at 50. getting a little bit nervous because I am short everything. So like Affirm, if that breaks through 44, we're out. PayPal breaks through 60, we're out. But yeah, it's getting a little bit exciting. But you know what, man? The biggest trade and the baddest trade of the day right now. Let's go. We're here. We're now $1 in the money on a $6 name. So Peloton just continues to rip, man, and it's been a great trade. We're long at 620. Like that's we've added to it, so it doesn't show. It just shows our last fill. But that's a monster trade. And again, it's brought to you by the sticky note, man. That was brought to you by me. But this break right there, as it was written, man. I mean, we had it down there. Thank you so much. The sticky note continues to be something that, I work on every single day. And there it is right there. Palantir, 675. We talked about it right there. Love the TikTok angle. Love the TikTok angle. Bought it down there. Daily resistance up near 7, but it took it out. So now we'll just wait to see where we go from there. But it's my number one stock today. Well, I shouldn't, Tesla's going to be my number. Well, I don't know, man. It looks like Peloton right now, but I'm hoping that Tesla, if we continue to burn to the downside here, that this one can really make us some money here. So Tesla back into 239. Let's put some bids right now, right here, right now. And bang, there it is again. Let's go, man. It's going to be another Dollar Club winner. It's Tesla trying to bounce off of now 239. It's another green day. Let's see if we can keep it.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. You're always trying to stay green. The market
Affirm
is also trying to stay green. But what Peloton just wicked 720, it got to that quarter. We're just talking about the quarters, 724, and it wicked that top. So as it did that, I'm taking another exit. That was what we're looking for. Could it hold above that quarter? It was an initial rejection, just taking a piece out. I now have a trail on Intel. I'm only long. I reversed into the longs. The trend is to the upside. You've got to sort of trade your style. But Intel just got to the top of the channel and is starting to slow down. That 48 level we like, got a bad wick in there. This is 4780. So you get 4780 in here. And if it cannot punch through this, then I'm looking for a pullback to get out and then look for a deeper reentry. So it just pulled back in, didn't quite trail me out there at the 60 level. So the next punch through, I think we can get to 48. But I'm now rolling a trailing stop. Shout out to Nick Dove. We appreciate you. For the super chat. You don't ask for anything except that A, you enjoy the show, B, come back, and C, hit the like and the subscribe. But your CVS swing is really pumping. Thanks again for the analysis. Hey, thank you for pointing that one out. Because the best thing about that CVS analysis was I was hunting for an example. It was a great example on CVS of a golden cross or a trade setup that ends up working out, where your reason for getting into the trade is one thing, and then like a technical thing like a golden cross just maybe gives you another reason to go into the long. But then we got to see what happens when you have only one reason to go in, which was a golden cross on Mobileye, which was an abject failure, but there was nothing else good about that setup. So good, shout out to that CVS. Look, it's exactly what I like, which is resistance, turning into support, and then breaking it out. It just so happened that the 50 crossed the 200 period on the daily at the same time that happened. But as I said, and every time I talk about it, I'm going to try to show an example. The golden cross to me means absolutely nothing. If I have two reasons I like a trade and it happens to give you a golden or death cross, then fine, it just gives you more conviction. But I'm never making a trade just because the 50 crosses the 200. Mobileye did that 2 days ago, and then earnings happened. So who cares about that indicator when, not earnings, sorry. They revised their guidance. Earnings are in 3 weeks. Hopefully they're good. This is up 1%. Intel's up. The market's at the high of the day. I thought I heard we're going to, no? Okay, never mind. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah, I don't think we're going there yet. All right, so we'll, there we go. Okay, sticky note, there it is right now. Okay, all right, we just made a nice little post there. Hopefully that will work out. Okay, Affirm. Oh yeah, new position alert. We talked about Affirm. I'm just starting to take some out right now for that, but we are a little bit late on Sector Watch, so let's go over to the desk as we're cashing out of some more Affirm. We're out of 40% of our Affirm trade for just 15 cents. Let's see if it goes a little bit lower. AFRM, what's up, Adara?
Pretty good look across the board here. Couple exceptions. We do have health services a little bit weak. UNH here to the downside. Commercial services is just a bit more flat here, and consumer non-durables also a bit flat. Retail trade really strong. Consumer services really strong, with the exception of McDonald's here, off a downgrade from Oppenheimer this morning to perform. Finance pretty strong as well. Health technology getting a nice push. Producer manufacturing. Oil a little bit more mixed, but XOM to the upside. Definitely always worth talking about technology services and electronic technology, guys. Electronic technology really strong. All these chip names to the upside. Marvell really strong despite no news catalyst that I've seen as of right now. AMD really strong off a price target increase from Mizuho. Boeing getting price target increases from Wells Fargo and UBS. So lots to talk about in electronic technology. Electronic services, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle to the upside. Netflix also on watch with a story regarding it trying to find a way to make money off of its recent venture into gaming. So keep an eye on Netflix as well, guys.
Did it again. Yeah, you're saying money, money, money over there, and that's exactly what's happening right now for Tesla because we're reloaded. We did it again up there at 240. So we just posted this, and you know, again, like this is, I just want to show you guys right here. This is the sticky note so far today. Apple short, Palantir short, Tesla short, PTON long, PayPal short, X. So far, so good there, just letting you guys know where we've been on with the trade ideas there so far. And then there's the reload. I just took some out for scalp there, some out, because we reloaded it, right? So we've already had some nice downside moves. Like I said, Tesla, I still like the trade, still think it could be a banger, but I'm gonna take a little bit more out here as we've had a reload position right now on this name. So if it comes back into 50, we'll take another fill there and then hopefully be able to get it on the outside. But, you know, this is the thing, man. Like, money, 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 money. The number one right now for me, my P&L has just blown the hell up on this Affirm trade. Like, we took some shares and here it is, man. There's Affirm, now 30 cents in the money off that 44 short. So let's go, man. Let's bleed to the downside Affirm. We are now out of 45% of this trade. And you know what? Let's just put another bid down here at 51. If we can get filled, then we're at a half. And it's a pretty decent trade here. So let's see if Affirm continues to bleed downside here. It has a lot of room to go if we're right. And there it is again. Spin it one more time for Affirm. Tesla's still trying. PayPal's not doing anything except for screwing me up more and more. And then Peloton, as we know, man, one of the better names. So it's going to be a big, huge day here today. And I just want to thank everybody for supporting, for liking the stream and all of that, because we do a lot of work putting on the best show possible. Shout out to Fabian, shout out to Ramin, shout out to Kat, shout out to Brendan, shout out to Adara, shout out to our guy Obi behind us, and then the Egyptian nightmare beside me over here, Sharif. Shout out to that guy as well. So, and of course, shout out to Neil. Hopefully I started with that. Oh, here comes Affirm. Affirm right now down into the money, man. This is a big win right now. Let's go. Sirens up for everybody that shorted this with me as well. Thank you so much. And a big shout out for the one that I forgot that I should not have. It is a big shout out to you, my guy. Bears versus Bulls. Let's go. Shout out to you, man. The best moderator in the business. We here, we live, we in the building. We're about to end. Energy level max. Let's go. This has been a big show. Let's see if we can get some more winners.
That's right. The Egyptian nightmare.
Right.
It sounds like he should be coming from the top ropes any second. Although, you know what?
The elbow.
I have a feeling that Sharif, in another life, Sharif the Egyptian Nightmare would be coming from the top rope.
Let's go.
This is exactly why I trailed out of Intel, right? Just very, very quickly. When it got up to that 75, 80 area, I always have a target on my positions, but now I'm looking for the dip buy. The trend is to the upside to me. I'm looking for a spot to get back into the long. We got out at 60s. It drops into 50. I liked 45 to 50 for the dip buy. Potentially we can get it. I already did that same thing on PTON. So I'm just trying to work with the trend here. It's still putting in higher lows. It's the only position I still have on because the longs got to that top, and that's about it. I still want to be involved in two name. Well, okay. Unity's a name that I said earlier I didn't want to short the stock. Let's be a little bit patient. I thought it would maybe go to 40. That was an obvious area. It turns out that 38 has been a bit of a brick wall. So on the 15-minute here, I like this at about 38.25. So money fills over 38, stop at 38.35, which is the current high. Sorry, 38.36 is the current high of the day. Looking for some money fills up there. I was waiting for it to get to a big spot to put on the short. I do see the professor, who now, of course, is no longer the professor, chuckling over there. We'll have some fun with it. But watch out here because Tesla, I was looking over at my note, and I have to get to Tesla because as Sean was just saying, like, you look over your notes this morning. I had a 238 over under, as you guys know. it wasn't a keystroke error. It's a certain stop order that I won't get into. It's a bit long-winded to explain what was going on. But if you try to get into position when you have a stop out, essentially it can punch you out automatically because you have a stop from earlier well underneath, and you go long and it instantly punches you out thinking that stop is triggered based on the price level. It is what it is. But the 238 has held. I think this is it's a strong upward trend on Tesla. The only problem with it, go back to my trend line here, is Tesla got back underneath that trend line that I love. So yes, the 238 gave you the long, but it's got overhead resistance back in that trend line. I'm now back into AMD off the 140 because it failed it up here. So remember AMD, we liked it off 140. It put in a lower high. I'm looking to short off of that lower high here in AMD. So I'm going to give it to those quarters. I got out of Intel looking for a dip buy, but I like to short off this 140 area on AMD. So I'm back into that just now.
I appreciate you, Akash, there, Akash in the chat there. And again, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Great show, huge thanks. Keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you, my friend. That is for sure. So thank you for continuing to support the show. Just keep on coming back, man. I'm not going anywhere, as we said, except for hopefully retiring soon. All right, over to the big desk. It's Money Talks. Let's go.
Really interesting movement for the DXY right now. I have the 15-minute chart on so we can kind of see the movement that we had initially off of those non-farm payrolls. They did come in higher than expected, 216,000 versus the expected 170,000. So definitely a move to the upside there. We did have this wick up to 103. Now we're trading at low 102, so 102.07 right now. We did have a bit of a dip here at 10 and 10.15. That was after we got this lower than expected ISM non-manufacturing PMI. So this came in at 50.6 versus the 52.6 estimate and 52.7 prior number here. So bit of mixed action for the USD. Right now we have decidedly moved to the downside. Keep an eye out as well for Barkin, Fed's Barkin, who will be speaking at 1:30 today, guys.
Oh, man. I mean, we finally getting a nice little move down for Palantir. I mean, Tesla ain't no stress over here because it's
another one.
And there was
Another one.
And then we had Peloton.
Another one.
It's just been one of them days. Don't take it personal. Nice move, man. Don't take it personal if you're long a firm, but we're short it, and it's been a nice one. So we'll have to watch out for that. And then, man, I'm just in chill mode. I could reshort Apple at some point. I don't know. I might just pass on that. You know what? I'm getting a little bit of this top-heavy feel here for the market. What I mean by that is like it looks like it wants to take the top again right now. So let's put another bid here. We're sitting at 40. We just missed it, but we are there we go. We got it. So spin it one more time. Now I'll cancel all the rest on Tesla because we've already done the damage. It's already in. We cannot lose on this name. Let's just see where it goes. We've got a great short on that one. And then honestly, a firm, we've already gotten out. I'm now out of 70% of a firm. We talked about it pulling back down to the 50 period moving average. When it does that, and that's what we call, you need to get out when it does that. So we do that there as well. And then PayPal has really been the only loser. The TQs, I know I shorted the market. That was that play. We talked about why we did it. It was against the market and that release at 8:30. We'll probably start to stay away from some of that because that did not work out for us at all. And that's the PayPal short. Other than that, man, yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. It's going to be a great midday show. And then we're back at 2 o'clock. I already sort of said thanks to everybody. Thanks, Honest Abe, man, for the super chat there. The grind is every day. Do you know how many sick days I took last year? 0. Do you know how many sick days I took the year before that? 1. I mean, unless I'm forced not to be here, which next week I'm at a tournament. Friday I'm not here. Then the week after that I'm with my kids again at yet again another hockey tournament. But if it's, you know, unless forced, man, we're gonna
patient 0.
Yeah, we're gonna be here every single day. So that's what it is, guys. 1 sick day in 2 years, and I'm here for you guys.
Yeah, we're all here for you guys. That's what we're all about. At the end of the day, I actually don't think we have missed a single day that the U.S. market is open since we've gone to YouTube.
Have not.
Obviously, there's a couple times. I mean, the lights went out one time in the middle of the day for like 5 or 10 minutes, like that kind of thing. But we have not missed a single stream. which I think is pretty impressive, right? Like technologically, there's been things that have happened behind the scenes that you guys don't even know. Like there's a couple times, like 10 minutes before the open, we've had a few issues, and then it always manages to get resolved, and we get on air for you guys every single day. So, and a lot of that credit, we talk about Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s, or you'll see Rob and you'll see Randy. Mark is sometimes here. They'll be doing all kinds of stuff off camera to make sure that we look good and sound good and all that kind of stuff. But no, it's a great
What's up,
team.
Fabian?
Mark's on vacation.
I may have
he'll be
taken
back.
0 days, actually, by the way.
He'll be back.
Sean Ripken, that's right. Hey, I like that one, Sean Ripken. We'll take that. Oh, by the way, people in the chat want to know something, and it's this. All right, man. Everybody's favorite segment is now here. Yesterday was pretty good. I didn't see, I heard that it was pretty good. It was the chicken sandwich yesterday. We talked a little bit about that. Today, though, if you're all about chicken, then you may or may not have a chicken dinner winner on your hands. And you do today, because today's meal, although the chicken's going to be secondary here, I feel like, tricolor cheese tortellini with grilled chicken, roasted mushrooms, baby spinach, and a tomato cream sauce. So we're making enough money to go out and buy our lunch today, but we just have a salad coming through. That sounds good.
It was grilled chicken salad yesterday. That was
Yeah,
quite good.
For me, cheese tortellini, it's good. I'd rather have that for dinner than for a lunch. But again, man,
I'm not a huge cream.
yeah, cream based. Yeah, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. It's tomato cream is okay. Alfredo would be maybe. We got the mushrooms in there and the chicken.
Yeah.
I could see that working out as well. One thing that is working out is Affirm right back in. It's another 50-cent winner as it gets down into the end of the day here for Affirm. We're sort of like milking this PayPal position. We'll make it all back if this thing gets back here into the 50 period, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm just trying to get it out. Sans a market moving down right now. You know, we're just trying to get out of everything, and that's why we got into some Tesla, and we're just enjoying the day. It's been a great one. It's a green one, and whenever you've got a green day, that's a good day.
And when any day you wake up is a good day. I always start with that, because regardless of how the day ends, if you wake up and you got your family and you have your health and you get to do something you love, it's good. And then, you know, like, at the end of the day, when you're trading, some days are good, some days are going to be bad. I'm having a flat day today. Like, I haven't had a losing day in a couple of weeks, but it's a flat day because I started out looking for shorts. I had one long off the open, and I got it out really early. And that was Apple. But I started looking for shorts, and I got out of them when they didn't work, but there is one with we have less than 10 seconds to go. I've been in and out of AMD here a couple of times. But this is the reason, the 140 level and this little wick at 140.5. As the market's looking to turn, this is a key stop. It is all green on the 15-minute chart, but it's showing some signs of curling here, and this is the one I want to get back into VWAP. So I still like Intel for dip buys because of that 47 over-under level, and it's stair-step, and it hasn't gone to a major resistance level for me. But AMD has. That's why I like it to that downside. It's now 11 o'clock, so you know what we got to do. We're going to jump on over to Sharif and Adara, learn to trade. I'll pop in at about 12, but we'll be back at 2 o'clock for you guys.
Peace!
Let's head on over to
the Egyptian
Sharif
nightmare
and Adara.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Learn How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara. I am Sharif.